All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the Otaku Talk Podcast. I am joined alongside my two boys. Introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
Hey, I'm Meowden, and I'm a guy.
Yo, what's up? I'm Colin. I'm just chilling.
Just chilling. You know, we've got some things to do. This is episode 1, so it's probably gonna suck. So,
More
and
like episode 1, am I right, guys?
episode,
Oh,
yes.
Oh God, that was tragic.
I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm Theo. I'm also a host and the producer. So so today we've got some things to discuss. So since it's the first episode, the topic for this episode is going to be a host introduction where I prepared 20 questions and had everyone answer them, and then we're just going to talk about that. And then we're going to be discussing the anime from fall 2018, SSSS period Gridman by Studio Trigger. And yeah, then we're gonna take questions from chat if there are any. Doubt there will be, and answer them. So just sit back, everyone, enjoy. If someone's listening to this on iTunes, I love you. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing while listening to this. So let's first start off with usually we'll do like what everyone's watched since the last episode, but since this is episode 1, we might as well do what we've watched since the start of 2019. So I'll start off with my list because it's not as long as one of our members, but it's longer than the other. So I started off watching Glass No Comment, also known as The Glass Mask. It's a really good show. It's a shoujo anime about acting. Really good. And then I watched this show called I Couldn't Become a Hero, so I reluctantly got a job, which fucking sucked. It was trash. It was about this dude who was a hero, but they defeated the Demon King, so heroes weren't needed, so he just works at an appliance store, and it's fucking boring and etchy and dumb. And then I watched Vision of Escaflowne, an old ass show from 1998, which was really fucking good. And then I started Azumanga Daioh, so I as a nice chill show. And then I watched, of course, SSSS.Gridman for the podcast, and then I started rewatching the F A Tale of series. I finished F A Tale of Memories today, and I'll start Melodies soon. So I'll let Colin talk about what he's watched. Oh, yeah, but if he isn't ready, I'll let Carson. So
Me.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So I started off by watching not that much to my usual stuff. Serial Experiments Elaine. Finished that in 2 sitting, same day, one day. Really trippy.
yeah,
Really didn't know what was going on.
it's a whack show.
It was good though. Um, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Golden Wind. I someone
Or like you caught up
or
on
that
that.
JoJo cult. Yeah, I caught up on it.
Colin's just gonna be talking about JoJo all day today. Kappa.
Yeah, it's a good series. Of course, SSSS Gridman. Eh, I'm gonna be talking about that later. Um, Boarding School Juliet. It was all right. I didn't finish it for a while, and I just binged the last 5 episodes because I want to finish it up. And this one really shouldn't be on the list because I only watched one of these episodes. Berserk, 1997.
How can you
Uh,
put that on your list, Colin?
You're
'cause I was
never
planning
gonna
on-
finish it.
I was planning on finishing it, and then like one episode, I went through one episode, and I thought it was like an hour long, and I just stopped. Each episode lasts so long. It's, God. Sirius the Jaeger. I really liked it actually. I heard it from people goes downhill later on. I personally didn't really mind, and I I don't know how to pronounce this show.
Tsuki ga Kire.
Suki. Yeah, I'm rewatching that show.
It's a really fucking good show. It's my favorite show from 2017.
Yeah, it's a show and a half.
Yeah, it's a really good.
like
It's a
Carson.
really good romance. So now it's time for Carson to just list every anime in existence.
Well, okay, I don't know about every anime in existence. It's a little far, but it is a lot. So, it started off with well, actually, I have no idea which one I started first, but I've done School Rumble season 2, and the 2 OVAs.
What
that
a
ended
show!
off. It is a show. It really is.
It is an anime.
My boy is just Haruma Kenji. What a legend. But we'll talk about that later. So, watch the first 3 seasons of Overlord in 2 sittings because
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
2
okay.
sittings.
While we were at school.
No, we did that during
that was
last
for the
weekend.
That was
It
for the
was?
weekend.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, it's 39 episodes, 2 sittings.
Jesus
I can
Christ.
binge watch like no other. I'm a legend at it. I watched Bunny Girl Senpai so I could, rightfully vote for something for anime of the year. Serial Experiments Lane with our boy Colin here. We watched that together. That was a
wait a
wild
minute,
time.
Carson,
What?
quick note. Yeah, I also finished Bunny Girl Senpai. I just forgot to.
Oh yeah, Colin finally did that.
Well, okay, as you do. Finally, God. Of course, for the podcast, did Gridman. Eden of the East plus both movies. In Another World with my smartphone. That was maybe a little questionable. I personally thought it was kind of funny, but
I did see you lowered your rating from an
Oh, I
8 to a
lowered it
6 because we
Right.
roasted
Shit
you
on him
so much.
my mean score dropped from like a 7.6 to a 7.03. Just because I've reevaluated everything on what it was. Just because of fucking school days. Theo, I mildly resent you for that, but also I can't because it is an experience, like you say.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just not going to.
You said you
See,
were. You're a pussy.
don't-
That's why you're not gonna watch it.
That is why. That is definitely why. But so yeah, then How Not to Summon a Demon Lord as well. I finished Bento yesterday, and then I've watched half of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Well, that's currently
And-
airing, so
Yeah, it is currently airing. And then I've also seen half of Akamega Kill.
which is a really good show.
It is a really good show.
I have some thoughts on it, but I won't. I'll wait until later on to
I
give
mean,
those.
I'm only on episode 13, so
I don't remember what's happening at that point. So with
Yeah.
that, we're gonna transition into the main topic, the host introductions. So I'll read the question and then I'll answer. Then Colin will answer, and then I'll have Meowden answer.
you can call me Carson.
All right,
I don't care,
I'll
it's
have
fine.
Carson answer.
It's easier.
So, the first question, very important question, very basic question. What is your favorite anime? So, my answer, anyone who knows me knows that it's motherfucking Clanad After Story. I fucking love that show. It made me cry. It has shaped me as an individual. So, I could talk all day about it, but I'm going to refrain. I'm just going to leave it as it's fucking good. My favorite show of all
And,
time. So now Colin.
Okay, well, as passionate as he is about Clanad, I gotta say, JoJo's Part 2, Season 1, Part 2.
God.
It was goddamn wonderful. I don't know if Carson has finished it or not.
Nah, I still have a
He's had
couple
6
episodes
episodes
left.
left for like 2 weeks because he's a nerd and he just won't
Nah,
do it. He watches
nah,
like, yeah,
entire
whatever.
entire series instead of instead
the
of a couple
last, like,
episodes.
and
Yeah.
love that show. I could talk about it all day, and the meaning behind the hidden messages
Hitting.
behind this hidden gem.
Oh my god, hidden gem.
And like, to make sure Theo didn't want to like off himself for me only talking about JoJo's, I also added Parasite because that has been a close second, and really like have my renaissance and back to watching, you know. So
The
yeah,
Chinese cartoons.
yeah, the cartoons of sorts
So
back in 7th or 8th grade. I don't know, remember which.
now Carson,
God.
what is your favorite anime?
You know, I would probably have to say I'm gonna have to go with Steins Gate on this one.
Wow,
Steins
I
Gate
thought it would
just,
be School Days.
I mean, as a matter of fact, that will be my answer to number 2. But
Wait, hold on. Is it not Boku no Pico?
No,
I
I love Boku no
mean,
Pico.
that's my second favorite.
I mean,
mean,
it's that's a close tie, but
like close tie with Parasite for me.
I mean, no, I'm gonna have to go with Steins Gate as my favorite, just because Steins Gate just has so much wholesome content, and I have a lot of good memories associated with that.
Steins Gate is my fourth favorite anime.
Understandable.
So I think it's
I have
good.
not seen Steins Gate.
Yeah,
We're gonna force
everybody
you.
knows that, Colin. We will force you to watch it, though. Don't worry.
So let's move on to numero dos. What is your least favorite anime? And I'll start off with probably the greatest anime of all time, Osama Game, the animation, also known as King's Game, the animation. This show has everything. It has self-harm, suicide, rape, I'm pretty sure it has drugs. People breaking their own fingers for no reason. People being like skinned alive. People banging their best friends' girlfriends. It's just bad. It wasn't. It was hilarious how bad it was. That's the only reason I finished it.
Such wholesome content, I see.
Yeah,
like truly a Christian content.
and my
Like a Christian anime.
a show that ties for my worst is a show that, some people who've spoken to me will know how passionately I fucking hate Hime Goto, a show where I don't know, you cannot assume anybody's genders because
it's a great 2019 show. It's a great 2019 show.
Oh my
You're
lord.
right.
Man, there's so many traps, so many reverse traps. Like, I don't even know what it's just bad. Luckily, it's only 3-minute episodes. The only reason I actually watched it is because I was forced to watch it with my friends a few years ago. But sucked. So, Colin, what is your least favorite anime?
A quick side note about Hime Goto. One time, this is just how much we all hate it. My friend spoiled Attack on Titan for me, right? And I made him finish all Hime Goto episodes and give me a rundown of every episode. Like, not the ones you can find in like the little biography about each episode, like exact detail. So like that's a little side note. Like it's a punishment show, really. I really dislike High School DD. I think it's fucking awful and trash and terrible writing.
I thought that was one of your favorite shows.
I just liked doing things with it. But my least favorite show probably not my lowest rating, but definitely Dimension W.
I know nothing about that show.
Dimension
I've
W.
never heard of that.
I found this hidden gem, like when I was searching for shows, and it wasn't even that bad for a while, and then it just threw it all away. It just like took all like the build up it had, spit on it, burned it, pissed on it, then threw it away. That's what it did. And I
damn.
Oh my god. The start of it is the only reason why I got a 4 and not a
damn.
Jesus Christ, I hated it.
Fair.
All right, Carson, what's your least favorite? I'm very curious to know this.
All right, well, up until about 2 days ago it was Dead Man Wonderland. Hate that show, but now, of course, ever since Theo threw me into an accursed pit, it's now School Days. Because fuck that show.
It's because
that show's awful.
he doesn't appreciate true art.
What is there to appreciate about that show?
Everything.
Literally nothing.
Have you ever seen a show with a massive ball sack like School Days has?
I mean, that's fair.
What anime would adapt the worst possible ending to a visual novel when there are like 30 different endings?
I mean, it is a power move when your main boy is just, hey, why not sleep with 8 different women and then have just, ruin my life and then have the audacity to blame it on other people and go like, why is this happening?
Wait, you said sleep with 8 different people. I thought that's what your favorite part about In Another World my smartphone was. Like,
but okay.
An 8 just like.
Okay. There is a very big difference between what happens in School Days and what happens in Another World with my. Because you see, in Another World with my smartphone, they're not actually sleeping with each other. There's just a lot of tension about that, and they do it in a funny way, but you just grow to hate everything about School Days.
I mean, the last 6 episodes, you're just sitting there watching, just in pure rage. You're just sitting there wanting to die.
I have never screamed "fuck you" at my laptop more than when I was watching School Days, and that is a fact. Purely because of Ito.
It's Makoto, the Lord and Savior Makoto.
He's both.
We're gonna come back to him because
I know we will.
Such a legend.
So much more to say about him.
I need to watch this hidden gem.
Yeah, you do. It just recently went below a 6 average rating. So
I'm gonna give it
it's like 5.8, isn't it?
It's 5.98.
I'm gonna give it a high rating.
No, you're not.
Oh, just watch it.
All right, I want to see if you can actually bring yourself to honestly give it a high rating.
I mean, I did talk one of my friends into giving it an 8 the other day.
Ow.
He brought it from a 1 to an 8, and I was like, nice.
I think I have it sitting at a comfortable 3 right now.
It's sitting at a 5.
Mine is. I think mine is 4.
I have it at a 5 because it's just right in the middle.
How is it right in the middle?
It's a genius show that I fucking hate and love at the same time.
They have balls, apparently.
Yeah. So Colin, you're gonna like it.
Theo necessarily enjoys it.
Colin's gonna love it because it has balls.
No, that's true.
Okay.
So
let's move on to the third question.
Yeah. Now this is where we start flexing, all right? How many days do you have on myanimelist.net? Like this is where we're going to flex all over Carson.
Carson guy.
So I'm going to start off with my number, 72.7 days.
Mine last time I updated it, so I started rewatching, and Mal is stupid and deletes parts of your days when you rewatch. So I'm probably at a 73.7 right now, but because it deleted my days, I have like a 73.3 right now.
All right, listen here, bud. A one core show, 12 episodes is only 0.2 days.
73.5 before though. Now I'm on 73.3.
Yeah, so you're probably on 73.6 because 4 episodes ain't gonna get you 0.2 days.
Okay. But yeah, that's how many days I have. I am the PewDiePie of the group.
You are not PewDiePie. I'm catching your ass.
You're Smosh, Colin. You are Smosh.
And then we got this puny guy, this puny little man.
Out here, I will admit, with a mere 37.8 days on Mal.
And literally, like 1 month ago, he was at 27.8.
27. He's a monster. He's T
See,
series.
I am T series, and I will own up to that. You know, maybe I'm not as nearly quite as big of an otaku, but I am trying. And you know, since we started talking about this podcast, you know, and I was talking with our main host Theo, and he was like, you know, yeah, I've watched like like 0.2 days, and then I'm
Yeah.
out here, and I'm like, all right, I've watched 2 entire days, so there's that.
I think I've watched like a day since.
Yeah, no, because I try to watch about 3 shows a weekend, and about
Jesus
1
Christ.
during the week.
I
Just 'cause-
just try to watch
more.
until I'm like, all right, this is stressing me out. Let's take a little break.
I mainly watch before I get to bed.
I
When I
wish I
start to
could
get tired.
binge more. I wish I could just sit down and watch 12 episodes in one sitting, but I'm a wimp.
A few years ago, I could. Familiar Zero. We'll get to that later.
So let's move on to question number 4. What was the first anime you watched, and when did you watch it, and what led you to do such a thing? And this is not including shows like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, you know, the basic.
Dragon Ball, like all those ones.
God,
Bakugan is, I think
And
Bakugan was Canadian.
it probably was.
I'm a Canadian.
No, you're
No,
not.
you're not.
We would have roasted you if you were.
Hey, I mean, Canada's kind of hype, though. Not gonna lie.
I love
They make-
Canada.
They make every children's show these days.
I'm not going
Just
to
like-
allow you two to say good things about Canada, so I'm going to go
They
ahead.
made Avatar and Total Drama Island. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. So the answer for me, I watched Sword Art Online as my first show on August of 2016. I was 15 years old. It was summer vacation. I had just finished binging the hell out of The Office, the American version, and I was like in a show hole. I did not know what to watch next. Tried watching Scrubs. I was like, this show sucks. And then I had always been curious about starting anime since I had a few friends who watched it, and because I was a big gamer, you know, most oppressed culture, I wanted to try it, so I tried Sword Art. I got a Crunchyroll subscription and tried Sword Art Online dubbed, and I fucking loved it. And then I watched School Days immediately after, not joking. So whenever you're like, oh, this guy likes Sword Art Online, fuck him, realize that immediately after watching Sword Art Online my first time, I watched School Days. So
God,
not
what
only
a
do I have nostalgia goggles, I also have I had to compare it to School Days.
And
So-
that's just that puts it from being I don't know what people think SAO is these days, like an 8. That moves it from
I
an 8 to
wish.
like at least a 12. At least a 12.
It was from a 7 to a 10. Like,
No, probably 11.
So Colin.
but yeah. So, I mean, like, we're not including Yu-Gi-Oh, but I did binge it for days on end without sleeping in the 5th grade, 4th grade. But, really, in 7th grade, I watched. I don't remember when Parasite came out. I'm pretty sure it was when
I think it
was
was
in 7th grade.
2014. Let me
Really?
I'll check right now.
So, if it was, then yeah, it was 2014.
Yeah, I
So-
knew it.
Yeah, it was my 8th grade year then. And Attack on Titan. And I watched AOT because my brother like was into it and I made fun of him for being a nerd. And then he showed me it and I didn't really even like it at first, so I just kind of watched it. He was watching it. Now I love the show, but and Parasite, I was just fucking love Parasite. It's a great show. But like 7th grade, 8th grade, I kind of stopped. And then I had my renaissance with DD. High school DD. Oh boy.
You watched it like what,
Let's
2
say that-
times during one vacation?
Let's just say it was a nightly show.
Oh man.
God.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I could only watch
Despicable human
one
being.
season of that, and then I dropped it during season 2.
I mean, like D&D Hero is one of my least favorite shows. Planet. I only watched it because I watched all the other seasons.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why. We all know you watched it for the
They-
plot, man.
They censored, so like, yeah.
God.
Okay, Carson.
Oh God. Yeah, so my first show was also SAO, I think. I really can't
Fucking nerd.
remember because I watched SAO, Steins Gate, and Sea Control all around the same time with a friend of mine from middle school because he was like, "Yo, you wanna know what's epic? Anime." And I was like, "Yo, that sounds dank. We should try that sometime." And then we watched it, and then I was like, "All right, this anime shit is pretty epic." And now, then I watched a little bit in 7th and 8th grade, but like not a lot at all. And then freshman year and sophomore year, I don't really think I watched any. But then,
And then I started talking to you.
yeah, no, and then I was like, oh shit, people in high school like they like anime. This is kind of epic. And then I just started watching a fuck ton of anime.
Yeah, well, we
And
can
here
both
we are
blame
now.
Theo. We can both blame Theo for us starting to watch. I did not watch it my freshman year and actively like was a dickhead to people who did. Like I won't deny it, I was a douche. And then sophomore year came and I transferred, and this fucking otaku came up to me, and I secretly watched without telling him. And then I made a Mal account and had like more days than him by like 10, and it was really funny.
This is one of the first things I said to Colin. He was sitting next to
Yeah.
me in science class. I look
I didn't
over,
know
I
this
see
kid.
I see he's on a Smite website, so I'm like, all right, this guy's a fucking nerd. I
Smite is
can
such a
trust
fun
him.
game.
So I was like to him, don't you think anime girls are hot?
Bear in mind, I didn't know who, I like. It was like the first week or so of school. I didn't know anyone, and this fucker.
And want to know what this dumbass Colin said? He said, nah, dude.
Dude,
That's a
I was
goddamn lie, and you
Fucking
know it.
liar.
Oh, it was a lie because I watched other things before, but
You
like,
don't even have
you
to
know,
like anime to know that anime girls are hot.
oh yeah, but like like I was protecting myself, and also like I at that time I didn't watch it either, and I still have my dickhead mentality.
I mean, okay. Somebody like just goes to you. I mean, Theo kind of looks like he watches anime, and he's like, "Hey, don't you think anime girls are hot? You know that you can go like, yeah, man, I would fuck the shit out of like almost every anime girl." And then Theo
Colin would
be like,
especially love
"Yeah,
the lollies.
well,
No,
I mean,
I'm
that's
not.
definitely true."
We don't need to bring this up now.
I mean,
like,
the only reason you watched
and I was a 17-year-old.
the only reason you watched all of Familiar Zero is because
I
Luis
hate all
looked
of you.
like a
Jesus
lolly.
Christ. I hate all of you so much. I am not one of those.
We're just pulling on your chain, man. So
I'm gonna
let's just take it nice and easy and go into question number 5. Who is your
this is where JoJo
favorite
starts.
male anime character? Not sexual attraction, just a main, like usually a main character. Like
Oh,
I
darn.
like this dude. My
Yeah,
answer is Harima Kenji from School
Oh.
Rumble.
What a legend!
He's my
Absolute
favorite.
unit. Absolute unit.
He's just a bro. He's
He is.
hilarious. He's
so great.
relatable. Oh, what a great character. All right, we're gonna skip Colin since he's gonna say something stupid.
I would not say something stupid.
He's gonna say Joseph Joestar, isn't he?
No, I was gonna say you're about to say Joseph Joestar.
Did you?
No.
Is it?
Okay, so yeah, I don't know who my favorite character would be.
I'm looking at the list.
It literally
really
says Joseph Joestar.
Joseph Joestar is by far the biggest Chad in the entire industry.
Okay,
Such a Chad.
I will stand up for Colin on this. I'm gonna say that he is a Chad. And
This man
He's-
pulls out a Tommy gun from his asshole and just blows up a vampire.
he is kind of a legend, I will say.
He's
And
even
then he
badass.
runs away because it doesn't.
When it doesn't work, he said, "Oh, time for my secret move. Run away."
We always have our trump card. Pats his thighs. Run away.
He is the biggest Chad on the planet, and I love him.
He
in
is
depth.
he's a real Chad, but he's epic. He's a good Chad.
Epic gamer wins. He would be a
True.
gamer, but not an oppressed gamer.
He'd be the
Oh,
gamer that
okay.
leads all other gamers from oppression. He is
Moses
like
of gamers.
yeah, exactly. He's like the he's like the Martin Luther King of gamers.
Oh my.
Single-handedly ending the racism against gamers.
Oh,
He's like the
okay.
Gandhi of the
Okay.
gamer race.
Okay. Okay.
All
I'll
right.
let you go now, Carson, before we get crusaded against.
I mean, it's gonna happen anyways, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's my turn now. I would have to say that it's kind of a tie between Okabe Rintaro, who's also Hoen Kyoma.
I
from
am mad scientist.
Scientist.
Hyoin Kyomadesu.
Who the fuck are
from
these nerds?
from Steins Gate or Harima Kenji from School Rumble. Both of them are just absolute units, both hilarious and just overwhelmingly intelligent and epic, and they're just great. I love them both.
They're great. I love Okabe also. So number 6, who is your favorite female anime character, aka your waifu?
Oh boy.
So
Oof.
Ready to get crusaded again.
I'm going to say mine. Mine is, and I don't want anybody to interrupt me in the middle of my spiel. All right, Nagisa Furukawa from Clan Ad. Not because there are hotter anime girls out there, yes, but she is just a precious cinnamon bun that I want to do nothing but protect, love, marry, and take care of for the rest of her life. And isn't that what a waifu is? She is true waifu material. Nagisa Furukawa for Best Girl 2019. That's all I've got to say. All right,
Okay.
Colin.
Well said. Well said.
I mean, also, if it's a cinnamon bun, you want to eat it, but I wasn't gonna say that in the middle of your speech.
That's exactly why I told us not to interrupt, because you
I
knew you were
know.
going to say shit like that.
Oh boy, I'm ready to get killed. I'll say the good one second, the one that won't get me murdered. 02.
Oh man, you like Darling in the Franxx? Kill him. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a Charlie horse real quick. And Holo. Yeah, both wholesome. 02 is not really that wholesome, but still wholesome in a weird sense. And yeah, that's all why I handle this cramp. You go, Carson.
Alright, I might have to say Makise Kurisu from Steins Gate.
What a
Steins
babe.
Gate's just it's a real it's a real show. It's just a great show. You've got a great legendary male protagonist, and then also a legendary female protagonist. Makise Kurisu.
She's great.
Yeah.
For Okabe.
She's hot. She's smart. She's kind.
Funny.
She's just all around just great.
She's the cute kind of tsundere, not tsundere trash.
Yeah.
And
like Eri from School Rumble to name a tsundere who's low key trash, or who's from School Days? Who's the tsundere there? Is there even a tsundere in School Days? I feel like there definitely is.
maybe that dumb bitch with the whack hair.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about. She has like weird ponytail things. That,
her.
Yeah, from what I remember.
Probably. But, I mean, either way, School Days, the whole show is just trash. But except for the first 2 episodes are okay.
First 3 episodes are fine, and then it starts going downhill.
Yeah. If I start going downhill, you mean drops directly off a fucking cliff in episode 4?
No, it jumps directly off a cliff in episode 5.
Okay, that's fair.
Episode 4 sets up an interesting conflict, and then
And then 5
decides
just ruins it.
it's like, all right, we're just gonna make it so that the conflict does not have to be resolved.
That's what I like in my shows.
I mean, isn't it what everyone likes in their shows? Let's be real here.
So I don't know if anyone heard Colin's second one. He also said Holo, the wise wolf from Spice and Wolf. What a babe.
I got a sudden cramp when I said that, so I don't know if it was audible.
Yeah,
or not.
I didn't hear it, so I just mentioned it.
Yeah. Wholesome show. Needs a season 3 more than what other show Carson likes. That he wants another season.
In another world with my smartphone.
Yeah, more than that show.
King's Game is getting a second season, so why can't
but-
Spice and Wolf get a third?
Because
Yeah, I
Spice
think-
wasn't even finished yet. Then they just kind of dicked us, but that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start watching Spice and Wolf. I'm gonna finish Spice and Wolf after I finish I Can Make a Kill.
And you're gonna finish JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before you finish Akmega.
No, I think I'm gonna finish I Can Make a Kill, then I'm gonna finish JoJo's, then I'm gonna finish Spice and Wolf.
Okay, the part of JoJo's you're in is really good. Like,
Yeah, no, it is.
that's my spiel about JoJo's.
It is pretty good.
Okay.
Because of Joseph Joestar being an absolute unit.
Chad,
He is a real Chad.
what a guy. Okay, what's the next question?
The next question is favorite villain, and my dogs are about to go wild, so I'm gonna let you two answer first, and then I'll go.
Okay.
Oh
This
my
is one
God.
I say JoJo's both ways because I actually just like no memes involved. Just love these characters. Wamu from
God.
part 2.
I can't believe
Wamu-
you can say that with like.
Dude,
Oh my God.
have you gotten to the part, or have you just gone to the sad hour part?
No, I mean, I know, like, I
Have you
know why
finished
you
off?
would say that.
No, but
But-
like, I don't want to spoil anything. But like, Wamu is an honorable man.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
I was also just like a complete Chad and like yeets so many things. And
I mean,
I don't
a
want to
fair
spoil
point.
it.
A fair point.
And Dio. Because Dio is the only fucker who's prevalent throughout really the entire series.
Dio.
Like
I mean,
everything
he's not.
relating to this fucking series like involves Dio. Like the main God,
Isn't
like,
he
fuck.
not? Isn't he not prevalent again until like the
Stardust
Egypt
Crusaders.
arc?
Yeah. But like the entire all of Stardust Crusaders is about him,
Yeah.
basically. And this
'Cause
isn't really spoiling because you can just figure it out from Giovanna's player thing, like a character biography. Yeah, the next JoJo in part 5 is Dio's son. So like he's prevalent. But
Mm,
that's all I'm gonna say.
okay. So for me personally, I think that my favorite villain I think I would say Momonga from Overlord, who's Ainz Ulgon. I mean, he's the protagonist, but he's also the antagonist, and so like it's kind of weird to call him an antagonist, but he is antagonistic in many ways. But I just think he's really funny whenever he's just trying to be like the demon overlord of the world, and then he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do? And then he's just got all this stuff that's happening, and I just think it's funny.
All right, so my favorite villain. Nobody has seen. Well, very few people have seen this show. It's called Monster. All right, Johann Liebert from Monster is my favorite villain. Why? Because they spend 75 episodes developing or adding more to this villain. The whole series is about stopping this villain. He's such a complex villain. You get his full backstory. He's psychotic, and he's just looking at him, he's frightening. I'm gonna get a picture and post it in the Discord, but he's just a great villain. You even learn to feel for him because you learn his past. So he's my favorite villain.
I mean, no, that's definitely a fair thing to say about just like any antagonist that one can possibly like. Is like if you can feel empathy for them, then that just strengthens their character so much.
Just
No,
look at that guy.
He does look kind of
Like-
creepy.
Just imagine
does.
him approaching you in an alleyway.
I would
Oh.
cover my butthole with fear.
Like, that's the best part. I think that's what you guys were talking about earlier. Is like the best thing about an antagonist, like one you can like that they build up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's why I think I put Geo on. And like Wamu actually had like good character development. Like, otherwise, it like I was gonna put the monster dude from Parasite down. I forget his name.
Migi?
Like no, not Migi. Like the final like.
Oh, I
boss
don't know
guy.
shit.
The
I haven't
level
seen it.
100 mafia boss. But
God.
yeah,
That's how
Goto.
Mafia works.
Goto, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Goto.
But like he had no character development. He just kind of showed up. So
Oh, when we're talking about shows that just have character development, I don't know why I just remembered this, but when I was watching Naruto, they introduced this villain in like the 14th episode, and then they have like 2 whole episodes of this person's backstory, and then like the 4th episode they have him, which is immediately after they have his backstory, he just dies. They just kill him
But
immediately.
I've
It's like, what the fuck?
I've seen memes of Naruto. It's just like it's really formulaic. They'll spend a whole lot going into this character, and then he'll always die.
And then they'll just die. It's so Naruto's just Naruto. I have no other way to describe it. It's just unique unto itself.
it's really just Naruto.
It really is. That's the best way I could describe it.
It really is just 90 episodes of filler at the very end of the first series.
One Piece.
Both of you assume it's only 90 episodes of filler.
Like that's like a whole Bleach in there. Like
All right, so what's the next? The next question is, who is your least favorite character in anime? So I'm gonna let Colin go first since Carson and I have the same one.
okay, I don't really have a character I despise with my entire life, but
Because
I'm
you
gonna
haven't
keep it
seen
short and
School
simple.
Days.
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Fuck Issei from High School DD. Just fuck.
He
Issei.
is a dumbass,
Like,
especially in the
he's just-
dub. I hate him so much in the dub.
Yeah, like there are characters that have done more brutal shit that like have disgusted me, but Issei's just like a piece of shit, and I just fucking hate Issei. Like if I saw Issei in person, I would just like punch him in the dick.
Wow.
I'd punch him in the nose and kick him in the balls. Like I just fucking hate that kid.
Would you give him a haircut also? Because his haircut's stupid.
No, I give him some waves so at least he could like come back with some dignity. Wave check, wave check.
Check.
But yeah, fuck Issei. Like just like I can go on a rant for like an hour. Like about how much I just hate this kid, and I'd just be saying the same thing. I would be saying what I hate. That's what I'm saying now. He's stupid. He's dense. He's a retard. Oh, that's a bad word. He's a dumb head and a poopy face. And I'd rather like have Migi, the left hand from Parasite's main protagonist, like be a full like developed character instead. Because Migi honestly has better character development. Migi's a Chad. Like,
I mean, you're out here, Colin, thinking that you can despise your character this much. You really haven't seen School
No.
Days, though.
No. The amount of anger I feel towards these things on a daily basis.
You think?
I just-
Oh, that's cute. You think that'll compare to Makoto?
No. I don't care about your weird rapey show.
It's not
Fuck
even rapey.
It's not rapey. They just
Somehow.
build the main character to just be this random player. He has no reason to be a player. He just like, oh, ha ha ha.
He's this
like,
ugly little
can-
virgin
Who
who
all of a sudden becomes like in the series of like 2 weeks, this man fucks 8 different women.
and then wonders why they start hating him.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll let you guys go with.
And he's like, yeah, Carson and I share a least favorite character, Makoto from School Days. Anyone who has seen School Days will share this opinion. He is just terrible. He's
Definitely
annoying.
one of the most despicable characters in any anime I've.
Even at the beginning, he's stupid. He's like, oh, Kotonoha, let's
Yeah,
go
see,
do
I was-
stuff.
Yeah, so when I was watching it, I was talking to talking to our buddy Fia, who of course had seen it before, and I was like, you know, Makoto right here, he needs to go to retard school because this man is dumb as fuck. He
Yeah,
is
I
so dumb.
I told you he gets better, but I meant to say
No,
he
he
gets.
doesn't.
Hold on, wait for me to finish. I meant to say he gets better at being retarded.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. He gets. Oh my god. We could probably just have like a 2-hour podcast
Oh
about
yeah,
why he is the worst character in anime. Because
absolutely,
he's so awful. He is so
absolutely.
bad.
Maybe we should have Colin watch it, and then we can have a discussion about it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Colin, I think that you should do that. I think that you should join us and watch School Days.
And then we can
I
have a
was actually
nice
just about to
2-hour
say that.
discussion.
But I was looking for my phone charger, so I didn't say it. I was just about to say that like I should watch it and we just have a like episode purely about him because I'm
We
really
could have
intrigued.
Just
we
all
should
about
definitely
school
have a
days in
2-hour
general.
rant. Oh my god. If we had to rewatch it, I could not partake in the podcast. I don't think I can rewatch it again.
You've watched it recent enough that you don't need it's
Yeah.
burned into your
Yeah.
brain. It's been
No,
2
you
years.
should rewatch it, Carson.
That's not gonna happen.
You should
Colin.
rewatch. Let's rewatch it right now.
Let's do it right now. Fuck the podcast.
I mean, I guess.
All right. So, what is number 9? What is your favorite anime movie? So, I'm going to give this is my answer. Ao Oni the animation. Amazing the top like the greatest animation I've ever seen, best character designs I've ever seen, amazing story. Like it's it's perfect. It's perfection. Like fuck you, Hayao Miyazaki and Makoto Shinkai. Ao Oni the animation is the greatest movie. It's the greatest movie in general, not just anime movie. It's the greatest movie ever. Like screw The Godfather. Ao Oni the animation, the greatest movie of all time.
If I had known you were gonna say that, I would have muted myself.
Yeah,
I think your life was great for that.
Because I didn't think he was I didn't think he's serious, right? So like I just scrolled up to see his part and I said, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Now, my actual that was all a joke. You should watch Ao Oni, by the way. But my real answer, it's either Kimi no Na wa, which everybody loved, Spirited Away, which everybody loved, or Grave of the Fireflies, which nobody watched. Which all three of those movies are great. I've given all 3 of them a 10. And so we've got a bunch of plebs over here gonna give normie answers.
Yeah, hold on, like I'm just laughing because I just looked up our own all the
Hold on, I'm gonna get you a picture. There's this
I
dude
see
that has a
picture.
mouth that can
Get
fit a
mouth.
whole
Pizza mouth.
in there.
Pizza mouth.
I'm gonna
He's
give
the
my
most hype character.
I'm gonna give my answer, but yeah, I just shared the picture that I saw that made me chuckle a bit in the
Isn't
chat.
that for?
No, that's
for
not
the series.
The series is not bad
movie.
actually. The series is actually
That's
kind of
a 5
funny.
rating, dude.
Wait, Thea, do you have a good picture of Pizza Mouth?
I'm looking.
You should put. God.
So my favorite movies are either Kimi no Na wa or Kotono ha no Niwa or The Garden of Words. Really like those movies.
It's because Colin has a foot fetish that he likes.
I mean,
Kotono ha no Niwa.
I do not.
Sometimes you just do.
You are lying.
Colin, we're not kink shaming. It's okay.
I'm gonna fart on your pillow later.
You like lollies and feet.
I do
we're not judging you, Colin.
I hate you so much.
All right,
Okay.
this is the best picture I could find.
Yeah, and my favorite movie is would also be Kimi no Na wa, just because that movie just it hit my feels just the right way.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. It's a very good movie.
Also,
animation. Oh
I feel like I need to mention Ao Oni is 100% in CG and not in like low quality CG.
This is
2016 CG.
It's abysmal.
I think it's worse than that.
Like you need to watch it. It has a
It's-
4.3 on Mal.
I don't think I want to.
I've seen it
It's
twice.
so good. It's so good.
I've seen it twice in 2 days.
Colin, all right, we're not telling you to watch it because it's honestly a good movie. We're telling you to watch it because it is hilarious. It is so poorly made that you will die laughing the entire time. It is so bad that it is legendary.
There
I
is
would,
flower sex.
you know,
There's what?
Doesn't that turn you on, Colin? Doesn't that
It has a
make
what?
you?
I
Doesn't
don't
that
know
make you curious? Flower sex.
It makes me. I'm gonna watch it later. Like we don't have school tomorrow.
It's on Crunchyroll for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know why.
And yeah, I'm not going to class tomorrow. It's to my ankle. So yeah, okay.
Well, there's not even class tomorrow. Fuck
No,
ass.
I mean, like I'm not going to the thing. I meant. So okay, yeah, I'll watch it.
It's a
should.
good meme.
It's honestly hilarious.
I recommend people. It's less than an hour. It's like exactly an hour.
Yeah, it's
So-
definitely worth your time to watch it.
No, I could watch that or 3 Berserk episodes.
In reality, it's only 2.5 Berserk episodes.
And also, in reality, Colin's never gonna watch any more Berserk episodes.
I think I'm gonna put it on my dropped just to see if Crusade happen against me. I have Darling in the Franxx favorites and Berserk on dropped. Oh my god.
No one's gonna take you serious, and he's never seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Wait, you have? Oh,
no,
I'm not.
no, I refuse to watch it.
I'm not surprised by that, but I am disappointed.
I refuse to watch it. Maybe if Theo decides to watch fucking JoJo, we can talk. But like,
Yeah,
know.
it's not happening.
yeah.
All right, so favorite anime studios. Oh wait, no, I skipped ahead. Never mind. Hold on, no. Favorite voice actors, English or Japanese. So mine, I have a couple Japanese voice actors seiyus listed. I have Sayori Hayami. She's my waifu. Kana Hanazawa. She's also my waifu. Yuki Kaiji. He's my husbando. And Mamoru Miyano. He's Okabe in Steins Gate, and he's also his greatest role is the producer in Zombieland Saga. He's great. He's just a great voice actor. And my favorite English voice actors, Bryce Papenbrook. I got to meet Bryce Papenbrook in person. I shook his hand. I had a nice little chat about Sword Art Online with him. I got his autograph. I got a picture with him. It was epic.
Truly epic.
I also like David Matranga, only because he's the main dude in Clannad. Crispin Freeman, because he's a good voice actor. And Crispin Freeman, get out of my bedroom.
I'm going to have my way with you, and then the dog.
And then also Lucy Christian, because she voices my waifu.
Okay. Is that all?
Yep, that's all I've got.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a long list. I have 2. Bryce Papenbrook for English.
Yeah,
because,
you wish you could meet. You could have shook his hand.
I mean, yeah, sure. I could have paid that $40 extra for the picture.
Well, you could have paid $20 to just get an autograph, but I wanted the picture because I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
And Tomokazu Sugito.
Let me look at it. Tomokazu Sugita.
Yeah, him. Joseph Joestar is part 2 voice actor. Like nothing compares to like the
God.
role he pulled. Oh, absolute legend.
I mean,
Like-
well, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
As a voice actor, he's pretty solid. I just have one. I'm really bad with remembering names of like bands and actors and things, so I just have J. Michael Tatum as my favorite voice actor, just because he does. First of all, he's in like everything, but the reason why I have it is just because of Okabe Rintaro.
He's also
He's-
Kraft Lawrence in Spice
Yeah,
and Wolf.
also that too.
He's
He did a
Scar
really good job
in
with
Full Metal Alchemist.
Brotherhood, right?
I think he might be both. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen
I
the
don't think-
original.
I don't think he's that in the original, but I
Also-
can't remember. It's been too long since I've seen it.
A friend told me he's also the main character in Defrag, which was odd considering he was Scar in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he's in like every
Yeah,
English dub.
He's in a lot of things. I'm sure you can find him in like Haruhi Suzumiya.
No, I actually deadass think he is in that, but I don't. He would probably have a minor role.
All right, so this next question is an interesting question, and I left it open ended. People could do what they wished with this question. It's if you could watch any long ass anime without taking the time to watch it all, what show would it be? So, like if you picked Bleach, you would have basically have seen all of Bleach, had all the experience of seeing it, but you wouldn't have wasted the 4 days it takes to watch it. So that's how that's what I meant by the question. And I put the original Legend of the Galactic Heroes because everybody talks about how it's the greatest anime of all time, and it's from the 80s, and it sounds very good. I don't know if it's a 9.11 mean score worthy show, but it's 150 episodes. I'd be down to watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I've already seen like all the Bleach, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those ones.
Fairy Tail.
Yeah. So I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, and I think I'd watch that instead. Like all my friends have seen it, they all keep shitting on me for not seeing it. So
They also
and,
should
like,
shit on you for
apparently
not
it's good.
watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
No, my friends from home, they don't give a fuck. They shit on me for not watching One Punch Man because they're scrubs. But yeah.
I mean, One
That's
Punch Man is
it.
kind of good. Personally, I really didn't like Hunter x Hunter. Wasn't really my thing. I dropped it after episode 150, I think.
150? You mean you watched all of it?
Oh wait, no, not 150. 130, I think. Just because it was dragging on, and I was like, I just can't watch this anymore. For my answer to that one, I put Gintama. That's because Gintama, like, Gintama is it's very long, and I think that it sounds kind of interesting.
It's also the
But
number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8 best anime of all time on
exactly.
myanimelist.net.
I mean, it sounds interesting, and I just, I think it would be interesting to watch it. So that's why, and it's just so long though that it's hard to stick with a long ass show like that. So just having all of Gintama just in my head, might I explode? It's entirely possible. Maybe not as much so if I was like, all right, give me all of One Piece.
Oh my lord. I
It's
feel
like in
One Piece
second.
would be a good answer to that because it's
Shut
800
oh my
episodes.
Well, I thought they were on like 1,000.
No, they're on like
I
800.
don't know, man. They just need to stop. Like that's what they really need to do.
That's definitely fair.
They might be on 900 now because they were at like 800 when I started watching anime, and that was 2 years ago. So,
My
all right.
brother used to keep up with One Piece, and he just he doesn't really watch anymore. He really doesn't watch anymore. He really just reads. But he was like on it for a while with One Piece.
Mm. All right, and the next question is, what is the oldest anime you've ever seen? And Studio Ghibli movies do not count because otherwise it'd probably be like My Neighbor Totoro, or for me it'd be Castle in the Sky. But so my answer is well, I'm like 30 episodes into Urusei Yatsura, which is from like 1983 through like 87 or 8.
Yeah, I think it's 87.
Yeah, it used to be the most popular show in Japan, but then it turned like 30 years old. So it's pretty funny. I enjoy it. I'm gonna finish it at some point. But the oldest show I've completed is Neon Genesis Evangelion from 1995. But I do plan on watching this show called Rose of Versailles, which aired in 1979. So,
Yeah. So I'm on like episode 3 or 4 of that first show you said, Urusai, whatever it is.
Yatsuda.
Really, I actually really like it. I just haven't watched it, but I really like it so far. But the oldest I've completed would be Karashi Kanojo no Jio.
Oh, His and Her
Jijo.
Circumstances.
Yeah, it was really good all throughout, and then like
I heard the
was, like,
ending is
meh.
incomplete.
It's incomplete, and it's really like you can tell what happens, like you really can, but it just pissed me off. And if I really can't, and that was in like 19.
That was like 1998, I think.
Yeah, that was 1998 to 99. But if you technically I've like Berserk.
You
but
that
I've
doesn't
only
you
seen 8
cannot count
episodes of-
that
I can't count that. I can't count.
because you're
So, yeah,
never gonna
that's-
finish that.
I will one day, maybe, probably not. Myself.
You will finish Berserk 2016 and 17 though.
That's a lie. I would never watch those abominations. Oh,
All right, so yeah, my oldest show would is Cowboy Bebop from 1998 to 99.
1998 was stacked because that's when Escaflowne came out also.
Was it really?
Yeah, Escaflowne didn't Trigun come out that year also?
Yeah.
98 was popping.
yeah, no, 98 was a year and a half.
Isn't Her Circumstances?
Definitely a good year for anime.
Yeah, 95 through 2000 were stacked.
Yeah, 95 through like 2000, like
Through
8.
2010.
Oh my God. 2010, and then like it's been good, but like no
Now,
one
there's
near,
there's
like, all the
no
classics.
there's no there are very few shows that will probably be that are classic caliber shows.
I think
I
Kino
mean-
Nawa will be considered a classic
Yeah,
in the future, but like, yeah,
no like
Yeah, well,
shows.
I mean,
yeah, shows now.
Maybe your popular shows like I don't know, like your Steins Gate,
JoJo's.
your
Steins Gate, yeah.
I could see
Full
Metal
JoJo,
Alchemist,
like, it doesn't get
yeah.
shit on me. I
Brotherhood.
could see JoJo's being one.
I can see that also, but I mean like from the past 5 years.
Oh, I mean, JoJo's is from the past 5 years.
Maybe,
But it started in the
Bunny
90s.
Girl.
No, I
Maybe
can't see
Bunny
Bunny
Girl.
Girl Senpai, even though I
Nah,
love
I
it.
can't.
I mean, I doubt it, but like
I
Maybe
love it, but I
Made
can't
in
see it.
Abyss.
Is it gonna actually get a full adaptation? That's gonna determine it.
I
Yeah.
mean, isn't season 2 of Made in Abyss in production?
It's a
It's a
sequel
movie.
movie.
No,
Of course it is, because fuck us, right? Like,
No, just fuck you, Colin. They were like, you know what, we could have another series, but fuck Colin. We're just gonna make this a movie instead, just
Yeah.
to spite him.
yeah, I hope they get fucking like AIDS. I hope
Um,
they have their AirPods in with their waves and they don't hear like a truck coming and they just like walk across the road.
I'm
And
trying.
then they fail the wave check at their
And
funeral.
then they fail the wave check. Someone has takes their do-rag off during their funeral and they have no waves. That's what I hope happens.
And then because they got hit by a truck, they wouldn't even have their AirPods.
Yeah,
Somebody got knocked
they
out.
speak broke.
But
God,
But yeah.
imagine having to speak broke.
This post is made by my LG and headphones that only one of the ears work because I broke the other one.
This post made by Razor Kraken version 2.
I don't even know
Yeah,
what mine are.
I think it's your show now.
Well, I was gonna say I think that I could see Attack on Titan being considered a classic.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, same.
I made that argument.
What are you crumpling?
Oh yeah, I'll stop.
That's not me. That's Carson.
That's me.
Yeah, I knew
That's
that.
me.
I'm a respectable guy and mute my mic when I eat my chip.
It's a brief snack. I will meet myself.
All right.
here.
So the next question is, what is your favorite genres in anime? So mine are, what did I put? Romance. I love it. Drama. I love it. I hate watching it because it stresses me the hell out. But I tend to, after I'm done with this show, I love them. I love slice of life because I don't like escaping too much. I like fantasy when it's not isekai. And I like mystery shows. Some mystery shows that
You're
they can
forgetting your
pretend to be
favorite
good.
genre, shonen.
Conan much?
I've never watched Conan, so
And you say you like mystery shows. Detective Conan is the only mystery show that exists.
Oh,
I
my
don't like
brother's a
kid
hard on for
show.
that show.
I don't like kid shows. That's a I'm probably gonna get yelled at for saying
Kid
that.
shows.
I
Now
mean, it's
listen here,
aimed
kiddo.
at kids.
You're not in Father Scott's storytelling a CS Luke class. You don't know what children truly like.
Whatever. All right. What are your favorite genres, Colin?
Romance, school, action, adventure, shonen, and time. Like,
You cut out, so it kind of sounded like you said Shonen Ai.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, who
did
doesn't love a little shonen eye?
Did I actually cut out?
Like you cut out, you said Shonen, and then it cut out, and then I heard I.
Sign in.
Sign in. Okay. Yeah, I heard the
Yeah.
I of sign in.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, those are my favorite. Romance and school are a fucking like pain to watch, but yeah, still like it. Probably like when I look at my graph, I've seen more romance and school like combinations than any other show. So
Yeah.
even though action has the most amount of like hours because of Bleach and all that shit.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah.
for me, I like your shonens. Admittedly, I am a fan of the isekai genre. Sometimes it gets a little repetitive, but also
a little bit.
yeah.
Oh, what's
But
this? I'm in
also-
a new world. Oh, am I overpowered? Yep. Do all the girls want me? Yep.
Hey, let's
mean,
not sit on him. He's just kind of trash, but that's okay.
if you watch it not taking it seriously and just are able to enjoy it and just like go like and just laugh at it, then you would enjoy it as well. But no, then I like your actions, comedy. Not gonna lie, a little sus, but I'll throw H in there sometimes.
Hentai? Oh boy.
Sometimes
I mean, who doesn't like
Oh
hentai?
boy.
I mean, sometimes it's just kind of a mood.
Yeah, you're into the yaoi stuff, right?
As in, no,
His favorite show is actually Yuri on Ice. He just didn't want to say it.
it's just such a controversial opinion. I thought that I'd spare anybody who's listening to it that very controversial opinion.
Even though
Yeah.
it's a controversial opinion to say you hate Yuri on Ice or something
I mean,
like
Yuri on
that.
Ice sucks.
it's just
I've never
not
seen
PC.
it. I've never seen it, but like,
I've never
Colin, you
seen
should-
it, but it's not a show I would enjoy.
Colin, you should just go commit Scooter Ankle. How can you go to our school and not watch Yuri on Ice?
dude,
and
you see, the
enjoy
thing
it?
is though, like my ankle is the size of like my forearm right now.
Yeah,
Like
go
if I
commit
was
Scooter
to
Ankle.
commit scooter ankle, oh my god, I
Oh
can't
my
even
God.
walk on it. It would hurt. I'd go to
Yeah.
the hospital.
That's your choice.
Dude, I
That's
was
your
almost
choice,
crying on the
Colin.
bus right back. It was bad.
That's your choice, Colin. You can either watch Yuri on Ice right now, or you can go Scooter Ankle right now.
I'll commit scooter ankle on my left ankle, so both my ankles are fucked.
Oh my god.
Best possible answer.
I am in pain just listening to this.
No. Okay, next question.
Oh, what was the next question? Let's see.
Oh, your least favorite genres.
Yeah, oh yeah. Least favorite Okay. Yeah, I really don't like shonen. That's a controversial opinion, but I don't like it. I like shoujo. I'm a nice grown man who likes shoujos. I also hate harem shows, like not like like visual novel adaptations where there are multiple girls. Like I don't hate Canon, Clannad, Amagami SS. I just hate the generic ones.
Like
I
DD.
like High School DD, In Another World with my smartphone. I actually do like Haganai or Boku wa Tomodachi ga Sukunai, which is I don't have any friends because it's actually really good. I like the characters. But yeah, I really don't like harem shows. And I have ecchi here, not because I'm like, oh, I can't see boobies. I don't like that. No, because ecchi shows tend to be trash. I've seen some good ones, like Bigata HK, Kakegurui, and the Monogatari series are very good ecchi shows, but 9 times out of 10, an ecchi show is trash. So I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair to
Yeah, I
say.
agree. Yeah, my least favorite genres are harem, and for the same reason, feel set ecchi. Like, I don't necessarily dislike it. It's just like all the shows that I've seen have them are shit. Like, I'll actually go look at my mean score for that genre. I think it's like 5s or something.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. You know, I do love me some boobies. I
So do I.
won't deny that. But just
Yeah.
when a show is like, all right, this is an edgy show, it's just like, wow, did you spend like $10 making this? Like, who wrote your plot? Like, a 12-year-old?
That's very accurate.
It's so accurate. Like depends. Some shows that are like ecchi are fine, but the vast majority of them are just shit.
Another good ecchi show is No Game No Life. I didn't mention that.
What's
Yep,
my
yeah, that's fair.
And
I would
Seven
say
Deadly
that.
Sins. I like that show.
Yeah.
Is that edgy though?
It's listed on Mal as ecchi. I wouldn't
Really?
really give it there's only like one character who's sexualized.
Yeah.
My So I just looked at my ratings for ecchi. I spent over 120 hours watching it,
Jesus Christ.
and it is and my mean score for it is my lowest one with no lower than it's one of my lowest ones with a 5.3.
5.3, damn. I'm pretty sure it's my lowest also, but I don't want to
second
go
lowest
look at
is
it
like
now.
Shoujo Ai with only like 2 shows I've seen. But yeah,
And I also, in the question, I said not including Shonen Ai, since,
yeah. Like,
none of us have
just
watched
delete all
Shonen
footage.
Ai, so how can we have an opinion on that?
My another one is I'm not a huge fan of yaoi shows. I will admit.
I mean, he's seen
Not.
so many, and they're just not his thing.
It's just
It's
I've
because
tried
the
it.
stories suck. He loves everything else except just the
It's
plot.
the plot.
Oh,
The plot for yaoi shows is just. I mean, you look at the plot for Yuri shows and it's great. And then you look at the plot for yaoi shows and it's like, wow, it's almost like they didn't put any effort into this because literally nobody is meant to enjoy this.
Like, so
Except for, like,
you're telling me
100
Boku no
gig.
Pico is not the greatest love story of all time?
It's one of them.
What? It is definitely the greatest.
It's a shining example
What's
of.
the clan ad?
I mean, I mean, the fact that I've seen Boku no Pico and not Clan Ad, that really says something.
But you've seen Boku no Pico?
No.
What?
Why the fuck would I watch Boku no Pico?
I thought you did for the
That's
meme.
what you just said.
Nah, I mean, I would watch it for the meme, but
I'd watch it for the
there's-
meme, but Colin
all
would
watch
watch it unironically.
Oh, for sure,
I mean,
for sure.
obviously.
He's watching it right now.
As
I
we
mean,
talk.
I mean, hey, you got to do something, right?
All right, let's go on to our favorite anime. Oh wait, no. What is this? What shows will we recommend? So I have 2 answers. All right, I've always had 2 answers. There's one I always say, School Days, because it's
God.
we're just keep bringing up School Days, but I always am like, you should watch School Days. It's a show that you're never gonna forget. I can remember most of the characters' names. I haven't seen the show in 2 years.
You're just a dick.
But it's great. It's wonderful. I've watched it with 2 other people before. They hated me afterwards. It was great. But my serious answer is I always recommend the Clannad series because I think the first season's is kind of hard to get into, but after story is what makes it all worth it, and it's life-changing, at least for me. So, and it's my child. I have like 5 copies of it. Not really. I have it on DVD, Blu-ray. I have a copy of the visual novel on Steam and my PS4, and I bought the Japanese disc version of the visual novel. And it's getting a Switch version, so I might have to buy that.
Jesus Christ. So my shows, I have three. The first one is to be obvious. What I'd recommend, JoJo's. I think Experience and a Half. I think it's a fun, lighthearted show. It's not one of those shitty shonens where die. People fucking die in this show. Like,
Like the
they
main
would take your
character's
favorite
mom? Question mark.
They would take your characters and just fucking just slap them. Like say that
Oh shit! Wait, the main
say that-
character's mom actually does die.
Oh, so it's a generic shonen confirmed.
No, it's not. Okay, so say this. This is just an example. This isn't from JoJo.
No, Jonathan's mother dies literally in the first 2 minutes of the
yeah.
show.
Oh, yeah, he does. But no, but he
And
doesn't
then
like go on
Jonathan
revenge.
doesn't even have a fucking mom.
He just chose his life because he was young and like a baby. But yeah, JoJo's like this is like they kill your like favorite characters. This is just an example. This isn't from. Let's say you have this really cool guy, right?
Oh my god.
And a fucking boulder. He's like dying and a boulder falls on him. Like they do shit like that. And they just like absolutely chad you from one of your favorite characters. It's some shit a guy
Chad
would
you.
do.
I
Like,
didn't
that's
know
just-
Chad was a
that's
verb.
that's just an example, not from the show, but just from like a wild guess. You know what I mean, Carson?
I mean,
And
yeah, I think you're trying to be clever, Colin. You're just a fucking retard. That's
no,
that's my honest opinion.
don't say anything. Pio hasn't seen it. And then Parasite. I love Parasite. Like I actually love Parasite. I rewatch it like once a year. And Code Geass, both seasons.
Yeah, my answer is definitely Aoni. Everybody should have to watch that. It really opens your eyes to anime. And then also, I think that Steins Gate is a good thing for people to watch because you've got your comedy, you've got your science fiction. It's a good blend. It's good. Oh my god.
Are you telling me that is not a scary villain right there? Do you not shit your pants while looking at that?
I added something else in my pencil there, but
whoa. Okay. Serial
Another show
Experiments
that is good
lame.
to watch. Yeah, Serial Lane is also a show I would recommend. You need to like there's certain requisites in order to understand it. I won't go into that, but Carson understands.
I remember none of that show.
Same.
I remember like my thought process. I don't remember the show, but I remember the thought process and like the deep talks we had about it.
I vaguely remember the first episode and the ending, but I don't actually remember like the full
Yeah, that's
ending.
about it.
I remember like the first part of the last episode, but I
When
don't remember
you're in the moment,
You don't
when
remember?
you're in the moment, you will like when you're in the moment, you'll remember it. Just like depending on how you watch it, you know.
So you don't remember when she goes and sees the person after, like in the future?
I mean, no, I remember that.
That's the That's the
Well, you need to
actual
understand
line.
like how me and
Yeah.
Carson would watch.
Yeah, I
it.
know.
Like it was just
All right, let's just not
just
get into
stop.
this right now.
yeah. Okay.
So
one.
next question is favorite anime studio or studios, and mine are my number one, Kyoto Animation. They've done amazing. They've not only done Clannad, Canon, Air, Haruhi Suzumiya. They've done K-On! They've done Violet Evergarden. The greatest. It's as of today, it is the best looking anime of all time in terms of art and animation. Like nothing. It's the best to date. I'm sure it will be surpassed, but as of right now, it's the best. They've
That's
also
definitely fair to say.
they also did Kobayashi's Dragon Maid,
I didn't know they
Nichijou.
did Kobayashi.
They've done a lot of good shows, but they're my favorite. I also really love PA Works because they do a lot of original romance shows, and not only do they look really good, the stories most of the time are really good.
Yeah,
like-
they're not shit stories.
Like they did Nagi no Asukara, they did Shirobako, which I haven't seen. I want to watch. They've done True Tears. They've done a really good slice of life drama, Kanasaku Iroha. Like they're really good. They did a amazing movie that came out last year, which should have been on Crunchyroll's best movie award, called Makia. It's really fucking good. And I also like Madhouse. They've done everything. And of course Ghibli because, it's Studio Ghibli.
Okay, I'm up now. Uh, I have a couple. Um, David Productions. David Production purely for JoJo's. Really, I haven't seen them.
Oh, I thought you liked David Productions because it sells at work. That's the only show I know that's the only show that they did, right?
I fucking hate you. And yeah. So they've done the JoJo series. Had like honor. Really had to put them down. Comics, Wave Films.
They do all of
Films.
Makoto Shinkai's movies.
Yeah. And Sunrise and PA Works. And I don't know why it's on here. Kyoto Animation too. Yeah.
Wait, oh yeah, Kyoto Animation also did Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions. Forgot about that. That's one of their more popular ones also.
Yeah. So for me, I also like Madhouse. They've done a lot of stuff.
They've done everything.
Yeah, and then also White Fox is another good one because
they're
they did Overlord and
Steins
Akame
Gate,
Kill,
Akame,
Steins Gate,
ReZero,
yeah,
Steins Gate Zero,
yeah, Steins Gate,
Deja
Deja
Vu.
Vu.
The
whatever it
Steins
is.
Gate Zero OVA.
I mean, yeah, but no, they've done a lot of good stuff.
And is that all you got for studios?
Yeah, just Madhouse and White Fox for me.
All right. So the next question is, what is your preferred method of watching anime? And like Crunchyroll, Funimation, High Dive, Netflix, Amazon, pirating, or using Blu-rays/DVDs. So my answer was, if I have the Blu-ray/DVDs, which I have a collection, I get all the shows that I really like or shows that I'm sure I will like. But I'd prefer to watch them on my Blu-ray/DVDs. But since I don't have most shows in my collection, I prefer Crunchyroll. So.
Yep. Yeah, mine would be Crunchyroll, legal sites, but with how my like just am, pirating is really like I don't really like it, but that's just what I do because like Crunchyroll Wi-Fi, like for some reason like it never really works on my Wi-Fi, but pirating always normally works. So
Well, that is some whack internet service provider.
That is a pretty whack internet service.
yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, no, I have to go with Fee on this one. Like, if you have the Blu-rays, definitely watch it on Blu-ray. But then if not, I like Funimation just because like they have some dubs because sometimes I
Oh
enjoy
boy.
the dubber too.
And here we begin. This guy watches
But-
dubbed anime.
Not always.
Fucking regular.
Yeah, but no, but then Funimation also has a lot of subs, and then there's also always
Funimation
Crunchyroll.
did Crunchyroll.
I mean, they definitely did, but you just have to find what shows you can legally. I very much dislike pirating.
I mean, the sites
can't-
suck. Like they give you viruses too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't pirated that much. I don't think. I think the only thing that I've really pirated is the last two OVA for School Rumble.
Yeah, I only pirate things that I cannot find legally,
yeah.
which is like a lot of old shows you cannot find
Yeah.
legally.
Yeah, like if it's not on Funimation or Crunchyroll or Netflix, then like then I mean there's always Kiss Anime, but I try very hard not to do that.
I have all the streaming sites. I have Verve,
Yeah.
which has High Dive and Crunchyroll. I use Funimation free if I'm not gonna pay for Funimation because I hardly used it when I did pay. Amazon also has some things, and I just use my parents' Amazon Prime account for that. Netflix has some things, and there's something else. I think those are the only other ones.
Yeah, and like some pirating sites are fine. Like 9anime is like, fine.
Not
I'll be
anymore.
right back. My mother's calling me about an injury, so like you guys go.
All
Shouldn't be
right.
that long.
All right. So just roast him, but no. So we'll just move on to the next question, which is what is the most amount of anime you've watched in a we're gonna save that for when Colin is back.
I am back quickly. My sister called and my mother.
Okay, so what's the most anime you've watched in a single sitting? I'll go quick so Colin can
Oh,
go. Most for me
yeah.
was I watched all of Seven Deadly Sins season 1 and then 3 episodes of Kill La Kill in one day, last day of summer vacation. So I was like, I need to make it count, and it was great.
Yeah, mine. Painful memory. Painful. So I was like, quick backstory. I was leaving the country the next morning, so I had to wake up early to go to the airport, and I wasn't gonna sleep. I wasn't gonna do any of that. I had nothing to do, so I watched the last 3 Familiar of Zero series, 36 episodes in one sitting.
And
It was.
the only reason he was watching was because I was watching. I was like, this seems like it'll be a good romance show. You should watch it. So we were watching it at the same time, and he was like, part of him wanted to finish it before me, so he wouldn't come back from the country, and I'm just already had seen it all. So he finished it all, went to Guatemala, and he came back, and I was like, yeah, I dropped it during the second season.
Yeah, he was ahead of me for then I just blew past and Jesus Christ, it was a terrible experience. It definitely impacted the rating because I watched it all in sitting. Like I was definitely loopy in the head, I won't lie. But Jesus fuck, that was a terrible experience.
I don't even think it's that bad of a show. It's just not great.
It's not. It's just generic. It's not great, but like Jesus, that 36 episodes in a single sitting was just like I know people do it a lot, but like
That's
it was just
12
not fun.
hours.
It was not fun at all, dude.
That's actually that's more than 12 hours.
Yes,
I
there you
mean,
go.
that's like 13 hours or so. But no,
That's just a normal day for Carson.
I mean, at least a weekend. That's a normal Saturday for me, anyhow. Yeah, so I think my longest was 16 hours, but it might be 18.
Jesus
Just because I mean, when you wake up at like 10 o'clock and you're like, okay, I'll just watch anime until like 3 in the morning. That's probably this definitely won't affect my physical or mental growth in any way. And it's definitely a healthy activity recommended by many doctors, most likely. I really hope so. I know it's not, but I
I used to
mean,
watch some play Smite like that.
yeah.
It's really not healthy.
I mean, I can feel the toll it's taking on my body, but I just kind of say fuck it, because my brain's fucked anyways. It doesn't matter. My body's probably also fucked anyways, so that also doesn't matter. So why not just like spend
Make
whatever
it
time you
work.
have? I mean, it's not like it's gonna get better if I don't watch anime all day.
I mean, that's
Yes, it
true. You're
will.
just going to play video games all day.
You
Yeah,
can play
exactly.
Beat Saber and get active for
Hey!
13 hours straight.
Okay, all right. Like, shit on me for Beat Saber if you want, but like,
No,
I have
I'm not showing you Beat Saber. I love Beat Saber. You know that. But
like,
like, play
I
it for
have.
13 hours straight.
I mean, that's not possible. I would die.
Yeah, I'm not showing you for Beat Saber. You know I love Beat Saber,
Yeah.
but like, that
I mean,
long? Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, the longest I've played Beat Saber in like a single go, I think, is like 3 hours.
Longest
It
I
was-
played was probably when I was at your house.
When you played the JoJo's 2 intro like
A million times.
like 12 times in a row.
And then Carson shows
It's a
up
good
and beats
intro.
it first try.
I mean, I never
Beats your
failed
high
it.
score.
Yeah,
He beat
my
your high
was like
score.
224 out of like 230 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
22 out of 230.
Yeah, and then on my third time doing it, got a full combo.
Fuck you. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So the next question is our or the longest show we've ever seen. Like, I'm not gonna include like multiple seasons. It's just gonna be like one series. So mine is Monster at 74 episodes, which Monster's fucking great. It's amazing. It's about a surgeon. He's like a brain surgeon who a child with a gunshot wound comes into the hospital, and he the the main character is the brain surgeon main character saves his life, and that nice young lad becomes a serial killer. So yeah,
Nice.
it's really good.
Oh.
And it's 74 episodes, zero filler, zero recap episodes. It's a really dense plot, but it's really good, and it's not like complicated. So I recommend it. I think it's probably one of the objectively best anime ever.
Yeah, so mine would be Bleach with 366 episodes. You all know what Bleach is about. If you don't, you probably should know what it's about because everyone knows what it's about.
I think anybody who is gonna be watching a podcast about anime knows what Bleach is about.
Yeah, like it's Bleach.
At least vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, like,
And then
can't really go into detail.
yeah, and then mine is Yu-Gi-Oh at 224 episodes.
Jesus Christ. Oh my lord.
Yeah, that was a long week.
That was a long week.
It was.
Yeah, I binged Yu-Gi-Oh. That Yu-Gi-Oh. Hold up, someone's knocking.
Jeez.
I remember him saying he binged it like he would stay up for like 48 hours straight watching it.
The longest I've ever stayed up is 36 hours, and
Same.
I mean, I thought I was going to die. I was tripping. It was so bad.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
I deadass just like passed out. I sat down and stopped doing something for like 3 minutes, and then I just was unable. And then I just like woke up 4 hours later and was like, what the fuck? It's dark outside now. What is this?
So, well, I came up with a new question before we go into our top 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Our most controversial anime opinions, all right?
Oh.
So,
Okay.
mine's either going to be that SAO is not trash, or Code Geass Season 2 is severely overrated.
Mine is that
In
I don't
another
know,
world, my smartphone deserves a 10.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does. It really does. I should just be a pioneer and just move it. But nah, I mean, I feel like it definitely deserves 6. I feel like that's fair. Just because the beginning, the end is, it's an ending, I guess. All right. But even you have to admit, the beginning is pretty funny.
I wasn't bored while watching it. I just didn't feel like finishing it. I watched the first 9 episodes as it was airing.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I wonder what this man Colin probably like. I actually really like Boku no Pico. Here, you know what? I'll give just a controversial anime fact from Colin. He's never watched a Studio Ghibli movie. Also, he's going to drop Berserk. That's a controversial anime opinion, that Berserk is bad enough to drop. Oh, here's a real controversial anime opinion. It's Darling in the Franxx is one of his top 10 favorite anime. There you go. You can roast him for that.
I mean, in mine I have Ghost Stories English dub.
I'm just gonna give a disclaimer. I also like Darling in the Franxx. I don't think it's that bad, but I know that the internet despises it. So
I mean, I feel like probably one of my more controversial things is that Hunter x Hunter should be dropped because that show
yeah,
is
that is
really popular.
controversial.
But I just couldn't do it.
That is
I tr-
controversial.
I tried really hard. I just couldn't do it.
So
Okay, I'm
I
back.
already told your controversial anime opinion that you like Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, is it my go for my top 10 list?
We were gonna start that now. So now the final question. Finally, our
God,
top
it's about
10
time.
favorite anime of all time, and I ranked mine based off of just how much I liked them, not just objectively how good they were. So number 10 is a show that literally nobody has seen. I have two shows on here literally no one's seen. Kimono no Soja Erin, or Beast Player Aaron. Number 9 is Nagi no Asukara. Number 8 is Tsuki ga Kirei. Number 7 is Monster. Number 6 is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Number 5 is Glass no Kamen, or Glass Mask. Number 4 is Steins Gate. For number 3, I have Chihaya Furu Season 2, but like I mean the Chihaya Furu series as a whole. I just think the Season 2 is better. So that's what I put down. Number 2, Shinsekai Yori, also known as From the New World, just really fucking good. And number 1, of course, Clannad After Story. So
Okay, yeah. My list. Some of these I didn't like hesitate to put on. I really only have like 8 favorite and like, but like number it goes from 10 to 1. Death Parade. I don't really have a 10th favorite show, but I really enjoyed Death Parade. So for the sake of this, I put it on. Number 9, Darling in the Franxx. I personally enjoyed it. I understand after episode 16 it turned into complete dog doo doo. I completely admit that the ending was shit, but like I really enjoyed like the
I don't think
premise.
I don't think the last
ending was
episode's
shit.
that bad.
The ending was shit. But
I kind of liked how it ended.
okay, well, your
Some
opinion's
parts
valid.
of it. Other parts I didn't like.
My 8th is Spice and Wolf season 1. Loved it. 7 is Clannad After Story. 6 is
Yeah.
Nagi no Asukara. 5 is Blue Exorcist. It was one of the first shows I watched. 4 is Noragami. Season 1 or 2, either or. Like they're both great.
I heard season 2 is better.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't like putting like both seasons on my favorites list, so I just kind of group them together.
Season 1 made me fall asleep, so I dropped it.
Well, number 3 is Code Geass season 2. I know you don't disliked it, Phil, but like, fucking love Code Geass season 2. Love season 1 as well. But
First season's good, and the ending is good.
Also, the second season's fantastic, like all throughout. Number 2, Parasite. And number 1.
I wonder what. All right, everyone, let's make a guess.
Yeah,
I'm guessing School Days.
Oh yeah, for sure. Number 1 is
Aoni
JoJo
the
season
animation.
1.
JoJo's.
JoJo season 1, but
Of course,
primarily
it's
part
fucking
2 of season. Like I like part 1 was the worst part. And JoJo's still a good show, but the worst part, and part 2, which is god tier. So JoJo season.
So mine is gonna start off very strong. School Days, one of my favorite shows. Then I'll probably have to go Tokyo Ghoul.
And then Dead Man Wonderland.
Dead Man Wonderland.
Intellectual as well.
Kaijo, of course. Boku no Pico, of course.
Keijo is not
Hey,
that bad.
No.
Where is In Another World My Smartphone on your list?
I'm getting to that, Colin. That's number 1, obviously.
I mean, like I figure with your high rating.
It's a 6, but okay.
Citrus is also.
Oh yeah, Citrus. No, but I have a hard time saying which are my favorite, other than the fact that Steins Gate is like probably probably my favorite anime.
Probably, he's not sure.
No, it is. It is my favorite. But you know, you've got your Attack on Titan. That's pretty solid. Your Name, is
Yeah,
you know.
just skip right over Bunny Girl Senpai.
I mean,
That hurts my feelings.
No, Bunny Girl. I was very hesitant to watch that, but then I realized that it wasn't like a weird pervy show.
It sounds whack.
sound-
We're gonna do a
it sounds-
podcast on it later on, like a couple
I
months
gave
from
it
now.
an 8.
I gave
I
it
gave
a
it a
9.
9. Yeah, it was a good show. It
We're
definitely
gonna
turned
we're gonna
itself
do a
around.
podcast on it a
Yeah,
couple months from now.
You know, like your SAO season 1, Overlord season 1 became a something that I enjoyed. I thought it was very fun. I thought it was pretty well made. I mean, if you just take out the fact that some of the CGI is just awful, they just need to not do that. But then whenever it's not that, the art is pretty well done. Same with Goblin Slayer, but Goblin Slayer's not on this list because I haven't really finished that, so I don't have a full opinion on it. Steins Gate Zero, not nearly as good as Steins Gate, but Steins Gate is god tier. Steins Gate Zero is like deity tier.
Deity tier.
Then okay, Ghost Stories English dub.
Oh yes, I love it. I love the
It
the
is
dub.
so
It is
It
so
is great.
hilarious.
Like, did
It's
you hear
not
what
a
happened?
good
Really?
show.
Did you hear
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Like,
They
like, the
just
dub was like this?
gave up. They just
They
gave up.
said, yeah, they said, yeah, like the show's kind of shit. Do your own thing with it. It's
Yeah,
like make it like the biggest meme, and oh boy,
and they did, and they made
oh
it the
boy,
biggest meme. It is
I
hilarious.
love it.
My favorite
is-
character is the girl who's always like, "All right, we're gonna go see Jesus."
Yeah, she's a I mean that whole show is just a meme.
I
It is
love
such
that
a
show.
meme show. It is great.
It's like an
I really
abridged
enjoyed that.
anime, but
It
it's
really is,
actually
but it's not even
real.
an abridged.
But
It's
it's
real.
great.
Yeah. I did try watching the first episode subbed just like after I'd finished it dubbed because, you know, you've got to
You
give
thought
these
it
things a
was good.
shot. And then it was like they're trying. Why are they trying? It's the show has no coherent plot and it's shit. Like so that was just bad. Then School Rumble first season
God tier comedy.
also god tier
My
comedy.
favorite
I have not seen
comedy
School Rumble.
anime ever.
And then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a good show. I enjoyed it.
And then number 1 is
Um,
School Days.
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, what else would it be?
And
And
those
number 1 was
it was
It's-
actually Steins Gate. He said it like 50
Yeah,
times.
It was Steins Gate. Oh, okay, I didn't hear that.
So, with that, the final question. It's time to
We're f-
move to the SSSS.Gridman discussion. Oh
We've been here
boy.
for like 3 hours.
It's been a minute. It's been an hour 44 minutes.
Wait,
an
has
hour
it
44.
really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But like I have like 18 minutes till Papa Scott comes on Hall, so
So we're probably this probably won't be as long.
Yeah.
Finally getting to the actual point of the podcast.
So yeah, that was fun. I hope people learned about us. And so yeah, so the anime we're gonna be talking about on this episode is SSS.Gridman from Studio Trigger, who also did shows like the controversial Darling in the Franxx. They also did Kill la Kill and Little Witch Academia. Aired on the fall 2018 season. The director
Oh yeah, I saw that.
is Akira Amemiya, and he hasn't done too much. He was the assistant director for Kill la Kill, and then he was
Kill.
mostly just a key animator for like individual episodes of various shows. So, and also if you want to watch SSS.Gridman, you can watch it legally on Crunchyroll and Funimation, and since it's on Crunchyroll, it's also on Verve.
or you can do what I did and watch it on masterany.me.
Or you can not do that.
Yeah. Also, fair warning. to all those. I'm pretty sure Funimation is just dubbed, and it's not a very good dub. I mean, well, I mean, I
Not
guess
really a
it's
great
fine.
show to begin with, but
I mean,
And
it's a
I mean,
show,
we're
all
about
right.
it is.
so
All
let's
right.
go ahead and just spoiler warning. We most likely will have spoilers for the show.
Yeah, most likely.
We
So
will have spoilers for this show. If you
It's
want to
this
watch
is
it, I gave it a 6 rating at the lowest.
I
But
gave it
yeah,
a 7. I thought it
I
was fun to watch, but it just
I thought it
wasn't
was fun
like
to watch, but I'm like
I
starting to get harsher on my rating.
I didn't think it was bad. It's just not a show that
It's
I
average.
really care that much about. I'm not gonna remember it a couple months from now. Hell, I
I
forgot most
barely
of it.
remember it now. I think I gave it a 7.
I thought you gave it an
M-
You
8.
gave it an 8.
It might have an 8. Although I don't know, I might have reevaluated, but it's 7 or an 8. It made me think a lot, and I enjoy it when a show makes me think. So
So
that would be why it has an 8, because it was thought provoking.
so let's just jump right into it.
Let's
Uh,
just jump into it, guys. But how can I jump without my leg?
so I'm gonna let Carson
Yeah, you had an 8.
start the
Okay.
conversation since he had a lot to say. I remember.
Yeah, so, it's been a week since I watched it. It feels like it's been a lot more than a week, but um has it been 2 weeks? No, it wouldn't have
No,
been
it's
2 weeks.
been a
Nah.
week. I watched it a week ago also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. Whatever.
I finished
All
it
right,
last
yes.
Sunday.
Yeah. I would have finished it last Wednesday or something. But so I
Should we
I
give a
enjoy
synopsis of the show first?
I
yeah,
can't
you
really.
can
I'll read the synopsis off of myanimelist.net.
Yeah.
So here we go. You're not alone. Whenever, forever. Yuta Hibiki is a first-year student in high school living in Tsutsujidai. I did not know that's what the place was called. One day, he wakes up without his memories. Yuta later meets Hyper Agent Gridman, who is inside an old computer. Gridman tells him to fulfill his purpose. Yuta's quest to understand the meaning behind those words and to find his memories begins. While all of this is sudden, Yuta has helpful assistance from his classmates, Sho Utsumi and Rika Takarada, and Akane Shinjo. Okay, but those peaceful days are destroyed mercilessly by a monster that suddenly appears. Take it away.
All right. So it, I thought that, or just to reiterate, spoiler alerts out the wazoo, if you will here. But I thought that overall the show was okay. The fights were kind of okay. Um, but the reason why I liked it wasn't necessarily because of the fights. Yeah, it's a mecha.
I don't even think it's a mecha.
Arguably. I mean, like, what is your stance on it being a mecha? Because like in the show
It's just a
they say that
giant, basically. It's just a dude.
because like Gridman is described as just like weird energy, but like
I mean, it's
because
under the mecha genre.
it's like an avatar, but it's like he's like a weird soul thing that like possesses him and then becomes like a weird digital giant. But
I mean, Gridman is literally a mecha, like suit, basically.
yeah, but
I put that down. I mean, its genre is mecha, so I'm just going with it's a mecha.
I mean that's kind of an arguable fact. But
I think it's a
I mean,
borderline
All the
mecha.
samurais though were mecha, basically. Like, didn't have their suits or anything, but they were.
I've
like-
heard the term super robot, and I think that's what this show would classify as a super
Yeah.
robot. It's just
I think
a
that's fair.
robot that is like it's just like a real mecha would be like have
Yeah.
gears and crap,
Yeah, like your Code Geass or your
or
like,
Escaflowne.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, Gridman. So my thing about the whole show is that my big takeaway from it, and like my big theory that ties everything together, is that Gridman is a computer simulation in the dream of the girl who's in
The main
like
antagonist.
Yeah,
yeah,
Akane
like yeah,
Shinjo.
because like your very last like the last like 2 seconds of the show is just like a clip of a girl waking up in like it's like real life.
It's a live action clip.
Yeah, live action clip, and I feel like the whole thing was actually just a dream, and that the girl who is Akane had like she was really into art and programming, which is why the whole city was like digital, like can rebuild itself, and why everything has looks like it has wires and everything, even though like all of the kaiju, which are like the big monsters in it. And my big thing was that like in her life, she was probably some kind of like, like an artist or something, because like throughout the show you see her like building and modeling these monsters for Gridman to fight, but you're not really ever given a real reason why. She's just like, oh, I just think they're neat. We should
Yeah,
make these things.
Like,
it's not like she's like
oh,
bullied or anything. She's just kind of like on it too.
I want to kill people that slightly inconvenience me.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
get
I
that
thought it was
that whole aspect of it.
I
the
mean,
girl like hit a sandwich and she killed her.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing, but I don't think that they explored that
Well, yeah,
enough.
because it's not like they were trying to make her like a path. They're just like, oh, she's just
They tried
upset.
to make her a character with flaws.
But then, like in doing so, the, thinking back on it, Gridman really wasn't. I thought that it would be a lot different than it was, and it
I did
kind of just.
I went in with no
Well,
expectations. I had
yeah.
no idea what to expect. I heard it was a rodeo.
See, I heard it was like because it was Eufio that was like telling me about it, and it was like, yeah, it's kind of like a mecha, but then like apparently there's some weird stuff that happened, and I was like, okay, I can dig it when weird stuff happens. I'm not opposed to mechas. But then I just I just don't even really know.
Yeah.
It's kind of its own thing because it's not like a particularly mecha, it's not like so heavily action
Yeah.
based, but then it's also not trying to be super deep like your Serial Experiments Lane, although I feel like they kind of try to at a couple points, like the whole dream episode,
Yeah.
and then like at the very
Mm.
end they're just like pulling that shit like, oh, actually she's a god. It's like, wait,
Well, they pulled that
what?
One,
early.
Yeah, no, they pulled that at like episode 6, but it's like,
Rika was the main reason why I got such a high.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
The
yeah,
thighs.
oh, Rika's
The
thigh
thighs.
gap.
But before we go
Oh,
switch to doting on Rika, my takeaways were like I was looking around and I found a explanation that I thought was good. So Rika, or no, Akane is she creates the world of the Gridman world, which is in the computer, which the show does explain is a computer world. And since she's the creator, she is the god of the world, and she creates Rika to be like her best friend. But Rika is like a reflection of Akane's true self, and she creates Yuta as sort of her ideal boyfriend. But the thing is, Yuta isn't in love with Akane, like the Akane in the show. He's in love with Rika, who is the true embodiment of Akane, which is what pisses her off. I don't know what that one dude Utsumi was doing, and so I think there was more to that. Uh, uh, but yeah, that's what I took away. And then eventually, she wakes up. I guess, um, I guess she
well,
Whenever she's
'Cause my
given the rail
interpretation
pass, she's able to go back to the real world, and that's when she wakes up.
Well,
Yeah,
because it ends with her like
waking up.
sort of ambiguously, like the conflict is kind of over because Utah and Gridman and everybody's like, all right, we can leave now. It's like, wait, okay, you're just gonna leave, okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess like if you're a god, you don't really need protection like that, but it was kind of underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, my take is kind of the same as yours. Like, I'm not going to like the whole. I really think the hidden meaning and all that. I think, like, just a personal opinion on the show. It's all right. Like, it was just an average show to watch.
Like
Nothing special.
it
Like,
isn't
I probably would
boring.
have. It isn't boring. It isn't great. Would I have probably watched it on my own? Maybe.
I
I'm
mean, I feel like I might have. Just like if somebody had recommended it, like in
I
this
was gonna
group
watch
had
it
recommended it.
eventually.
Yeah, I feel someone who recommended it for this purpose, but
I
I
don't know
don't
if
think
I.
I would have I don't normally like wander around the genres that it's in. Like I
Yeah,
would have
no,
like
me
read the
neither.
synopsis and said,
I
I
was
don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
was
wasn't the
mostly
best though.
curious about it because everybody was talking about it during the fall season. They were like, "Oh my god, Gridman's
Yeah,
so
everyone was like,
good."
it's the savior of Trigger. Like
Yeah, they were
it's so
calling
much
it
better than Franks,
because of Darling and the
but
Franks.
Franks was so much better in my opinion. Like no comparison. No comparison.
I
Like Franks
I
also has a higher
enjoyed
rating
Franks
too.
more because I enjoyed Franks for the character drama, not for
I
the
call it
mecha
Franks as
fights.
7. But Frank's like has a higher mean score. Like
It
if we're gonna go with that
does.
by like 0.14.
But I will note that I was watching Gridman's mean score. At episode 1, it was at like a 6.6. And I just watched that baby slowly go up to what it's a 7.44 now.
Yeah.
But, let me just say the things that I liked about the show. Number 1 on that list, Rika and them thighs. Oh, mama.
100%.
I
100%.
I loved them. Rika was great. I fucking loved her. She was a good waifu.
Yeah, Rika was fantastic.
Like great character. She, if only she didn't come out the same season as Mai Sakurajima, she would have been best girl of the fall season, but sorry, Mai Sakurajima came out that
She
season
doesn't have that
also.
much personality though. Rika's just really fucking hot.
Yeah, my most of her charm is her personality, but yeah, Rika's great. I thought the soundtrack. Usually, I just completely ignore the music. I don't even notice that it's there. But there were times like in the middle of the fights when the music would play, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm actually hearing the music," and I thought it was pretty good. I didn't like how they, I do like when shows play the intro in fights, but Gridman used it. I can understand using it at the beginning because in the first episode because we haven't heard the intro. They used it in the middle of the series, which it was hype, but you can't overuse that trump card. And at the end of the series, that
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah, but I think the thing about Gridman is they had a couple fights that were kind of hype because they tried to fit in a fight in every episode, and I feel like they just didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I didn't really. One thing I didn't like, the fights I didn't really care about. I thought a lot of them were boring. They were all
Yeah.
predictable.
Definitely fair because you're like, oh, Gridman's gonna win.
The second fight makes no sense whenever he actually loses. And but it's all good. That made no sense to me.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
just now
why
remembered
don't you just
that.
why not? My least favorite part about that part was just like, oh no, you Tinkermen are gone. Ah! I'm just gonna like cry in my shop and it's like, have you called them? They're still around, and then they're just like, wait, Nani? And then they just like call him up. He's like, hey guys, what's up? I'm just like chilling out here. It's like, It's like, oh, Yuta, why don't you come back, please? And it's like, okay, and it just comes back. It's like, what the fuck?
Yep,
Literally
there's
makes
5 minutes of, oh man, he's dead, even though we all knew he wasn't dead.
literally made no sense.
Yeah, I just now remember that. Not that this was like episode 2,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, that was the second episode.
So going back to things that I liked, I liked Akane's character design.
Oh, episode. We talking the episode. What was it? Episode 5, the whitewater rafting episode.
Oh my lord.
God tier episode. You really get to see what with the
how complex the
how-
plot is. How quality
you
the
know,
plot is.
or more like how quality Rika and Akane are designed. Oh God.
Yeah, that was
Rika's titties there. Oh oh man. That you gotta admit that was nice.
I had seen gifs of Rika putting her cell phone in her bikini top ever since that episode aired. I was like, all right, guess what show I'm gonna watch when it finishes airing.
God, Rika's thighs. That's
Uh,
if we're being honest, that was one of the highlights of the show.
It
guys,
was.
I need to go. I'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
But Miss McNeil's in here. I need to do something. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Model UN.
All right, bye.
All right, see you, Colin.
All right. Let me update the stream overlay. There we go. Slide these bad boys. There we go.
How many viewers do you have?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. So
okay, that's fair.
So now if we go back to things that I liked, the fights are mostly CG, but it's not terrible. It's pretty good. It's not amazing. It's not like Land of the Lustrous good CG, but it's better than Berserk CG. So
definitely fair.
So it was pretty good. It was nice and clean. I loved when Akane murdered the college dudes because they were flirting with Rika, and that is a no-no for me.
Best girl is meant for best guy.
Exactly. Me.
And if you're just like a piece of shit group of irrelevant characters
of online like vloggers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were vloggers, weren't they?
I think so.
God. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, a lot of the episodes at the beginning are just filler. It feels like that episode felt like filler.
Yeah, no, and then like I feel like the only episodes that really mattered were, I think, the first episode, the second episode, the whitewater rafting episode, because they actually had a lot of plot in that episode.
Yeah,
they also had some very excellent character design there. That's kind of undeniable.
That the college student episode actually was important because it showed Akane being the villain.
I mean, yeah, that's fair, but like, it wasn't.
It could have been better.
Yeah, definitely could have been better.
They also wanted to make that petty romance drama that led nowhere, of course.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that I didn't like. Is like, you could have done something with romance, like. I mean, like, romance isn't really my favorite kind of genre, but, a little romance, I can appreciate it, not a show based entirely around it, like you might enjoy, perhaps, but, I feel like, I do like it when shows have like, a romantic subplot, and I feel like the romantic subplot in Gridman is just...
Could have been good.
It could have been really good.
Because
I thought it was going to be good, but then they were like, actually, we're just not gonna have one.
Like, both Yuta and Rika clearly had feelings for each other. The only romantic conclusion we get is Gridman's like, Yuta has feelings for you.
Yeah, and then she's like, wait, but what? Okay, I guess.
And then the series ends.
Yeah, and it's like, but also you can't be with Yuta because I, Gridman, am Yuta. It's like, oh.
No. Gridman took over. He possessed Yuta.
No, I mean, yeah.
So,
But then they became the same person, and then he had to leave.
and
But that's
I
just,
believe Yuta would have come back. I think Yuta came back after Gridman left.
I mean, yeah. I just don't know.
There are some
I
things about
really
that ending.
that they could have done. They could have ended the show so much better if they hadn't like tied in the whole things. Like, okay, so Akane is actually the god of this universe, but
Well,
like,
that's fine. That's how you set up the premise.
yeah, but
Like
like,
Haruhi Suzumiya does that and
I mean,
does it
yeah,
well.
no, like the premise. I don't have a problem with the premise, but like just where they went after they disclosed the premise. Like, so instead of like caring about the world and like trying to help Akane out a whole lot, they're just like, okay, we're just gonna keep doing the same shit. It's like, oh, okay, I guess you can do that. That's fine.
Now what I'm about to say, it could be because I don't know the original live action Gridman lore, but I feel like they could have cut Auntie out completely and they could have done more productive things. But
So I think thing about Auntie is that I feel like he would be necessary if they were going to make a continuation of it, because it sets him up as a secondary antagonist who then at the end becomes a protagonist. So that's your typical like little switcheroo, like, okay, actually I'm just going to be a good guy now. And it's like I can accept that. Because at the end it has him, and then like he has like
he,
the different colored eye
he
from
goes he
when,
goes with that
yeah,
other
like the,
girl, but she's from the original Gridman, I think.
yeah.
Which is
I
why
f-
I think that
I
my
feel
lack
like,
of that lore is what's
yeah. No,
screwing up my thoughts.
my lack of lore is also definitely affecting, and I feel like it's definitely fair that because we don't have that lore, that maybe we're judging Gridman a little harshly.
Yeah, I feel like a show. One thing I don't like is the show. If you don't know the lore of the original live action Gridman from the 90s,
Yeah,
you're gonna
because
miss a good chunk of the references, which I think
that's
is dumb.
definitely a fair
So
point.
it should be like a reintroduction to the Gridman series.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, because there's a big difference between having a show like, I'm just, of course I'm gonna tie back to Steins Gate, but like you have Steins Gate and then you have Steins Gate Zero, and like, yes, you have to watch Steins Gate to watch Steins Gate Zero, but it makes sense that you would have to do that. But in a show like Gridman, like, okay, yeah, I've heard of this show, SSSS Gridman, but then like I didn't even know there was a live action until like we started talking about it, and it's like, there's a live action of it from the 90s. Like, it seems like it would be a little late to make that into an anime now, and then have so many references that if you're trying to reintroduce Gridman into like the culture,
Yeah.
like into like something that people are going to be talking about, that you'd have it as like a reintroduction, like you would animate that live action so that people don't have to go and watch however long of a live action show from the 90s, where I don't even know where you'd find a show like that.
You can find it on the internet, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to pirate it, but like,
Most likely.
because
If you
like
want
I don't know where.
subtitles.
Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, that's definitely a fair point that you brought. Like, if you're gonna try to reintroduce a concept like Gridman, because Gridman is a concept,
Hmm.
you'd have to reintroduce the whole thing and not just like this part of it, which might be a core part. But I feel like this isn't even what the original
It's
Gridman
probably
would
more
be
of a
about.
side story. I don't know.
And I feel like that's probably one of the worst things that they could have done with Gridman, is that instead of making it
Its own
like
thing.
a new show, like, okay, this is Gridman, they just make it SSSS Gridman, which is like
A
a
side
really
story
weird,
of another show
a side
from
story of
20
another
years ago.
show, yeah, like an irrelevant I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
it was
it's
popular,
almost 30. Yeah, I mean, that's
but
fair.
it's over 20 years old at this point. And
Yeah, so if you're gonna
American
try to,
audiences are not going to have heard of SSS.Gridman. Not that Japanese anime companies give a shit about American audience, because they don't. But
Yeah, all things considered, the concept of Gridman is interesting. It's not a bad concept. The plot could have been executed a lot better. And I think that if they had just decided what they were going to do with the show, and if they decided, like, okay, we're going to try to introduce Gridman back into, into the discussion,
yeah, not
that they,
not like a side story. You need to have seen the original. It's good.
yeah,
If they could have just had it its own thing, introducing the original or a retelling of the original. I don't know,
Mm.
but
I would have, if I remembered more of it and had a lot, I would have had more good things to say about it if they had just decided what they were gonna do and just done what they were setting out to do, which I assume is to reintroduce Gridman to the populace, and I just don't think they did as good of a job as they could have for that.
I mean, it was very popular in Japan. I will note that. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw a list of the top anime from 2018, and it was on there on the top 10.
Gridman was,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean that's definitely fair, but I mean this is also coming from two people in the U.S.
yeah,
speaking about something, because there's just a lot of cultural things, like,
yeah,
like a show from the U.S. that was getting a reboot.
yeah.
I can't think of a good
We're
example
we're
right now,
we're
but
just not the target audience.
yeah, that's definitely fair. And I mean, anybody that's listening to the podcast is like, you're probably not the target audience either.
I mean,
Just bear that in mind.
there were I was looking at discussions. There were people who had seen the original Gridman and loved
Yeah,
it.
the anime or the original show.
They'd seen the original live action, and they had seen SSS.Gridman.
No, okay. I mean, yeah, I feel like if I had seen the live action, which would have made like there was a lot of hints. Like when I was watching the show, I feel like there's a lot of things where I was, you know, that seems like it's a reference to something else.
There
And I
were
just
a lot of
don't
Neon
know.
Genesis Evangelion references, though, that I
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah. I mean, you've seen that. I haven't seen that. I guess I'll wait until it comes out on Netflix in March to watch that.
But
But
you know, there were a lot of Neon Genesis references, but I'm sure there were a lot more uh, of the references to the originals and callbacks to the original.
yeah, no, I feel like I know for a fact that there were a lot of them, and I just didn't understand it because they were trying to make it like a different like a different story of the Gridman universe, and they were just having like a lot of weird tiebacks. I feel like the ending would make sense if it was all making, like, if it was all original Gridman.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go into my final thoughts. So I think the show, if you haven't seen the original Gridman, I think you could still enjoy it. Like, I kind of enjoyed it. It was entertaining, at least. It just wasn't an amazing show. Like, I think you don't have to watch it in order to like be able to follow the plot. But I think if you have seen the original live action Gridman, you're gonna appreciate it a lot more. Um, so like I said, I wasn't really bored. Only some of the fights I would be like not paying attention. Music was great. Character design's great. Main character Yuto is kind of a bitch, but all main characters usually are bitch unless their name is Hari Makenji.
True,
Um. Uh.
but could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. It it's gonna stand as one of those all right shows that I'm not gonna remember months from now. So I gave it a 7 out of 10, which is what I give shows that I think are all right but not very memorable. Or if a memorable show is super flawed, I give it a 7. But this falls under the it's not very memorable, but it was all right.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, like in the discussion on it, I moved my Gridman rating from an 8 to a 7 just because, like, yeah, I guess when I was watching it, I thought it was more interesting than perhaps it really was because I just watched it I think I watched it in 3 separate sittings, which is kind of unusual for me for a 12 episode series.
You
And
were slacking, man.
yeah, no, I think I actually did homework one of those nights.
Lol.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's not as memorable as it could have been. Not necessarily as good as it could have been. Unless you see the original Gridman, in which case I feel like it would be very enjoyable to watch. But to those who haven't, you can, like Fia was saying, you definitely can get a sense of enjoyment from it. But if you're going in and you don't understand previous Gridman lore, just be
It
wary that
probably will. It could affect your view of the show.
there's going to be things that go over your head.
So I have a little list of recommendations based off of this show. So if you enjoyed this show, I have a couple shows that you might like. First, I'm going to say Darling in the Franxx, mostly because it's Studio Trigger and it's mecha. Well, it's more Super Robot, but it's more mecha than Gridman in my opinion. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. It's not, but it's I like it more for the character drama. Like I was gonna go. I don't really give a shit about mecha, so I was going into this for the character drama. So and Darling in the Franxx has I think it has a good character drama. Another recommendation would be Neon Genesis Evangelion because it's it has a similar feel. It's a mecha that is not just a mecha and has other deep meanings in it. It's also aired around the time of the original Gridman. And there's there's just a few references to Evangelion in SSS.Gridman. So another series I'd recommend is Madoka Magica with the Rebellion movie, which they released after the TV series aired. They released 2 movies. Both were like one movie was half of the TV series, the other movie was the second half of the TV series, and then a third movie which was like a sequel. And I think some of the conflicts between taking advantage of a god figure come up in the Rebellion movie, and it is kind of a similar feel. It's pretty trippy. Like it's much more trippy than Gridman, but I think if you like Madoka or this Gridman, you'd like Madoka Magica. Um, Another show is Haruhi Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. I think if you liked Akane being like a character that is a god of a world, you'd like Haruhi Suzumiya. It's just Haruhi Suzumiya is a amazing slice of life comedy with the premise that they're trying to keep a goddess of from getting bored because she doesn't know that she's a goddess. So they want to keep her from getting bored and destroying the world. And I this might be a weird recommendation, but I'd say Attack on Titan just because the fights feel a little similar in Attack on Titan. Just
Really?
big people fighting people.
That
Big people fighting big people. It's a bit of a stretch,
that is, I'd say that
but
is a bit of a stretch.
you
I mean, I
might
can
be
see it
able
though.
to.
I feel like if you did enjoy Gridman as it is, that you probably would enjoy your Attack on Titans just because it's got that same sort of. I do kind of get what you're saying with that same sort of action type feel.
I just think the fighting in Attack on Titan's a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, Attack on Titan just has a rich story too. Oh, looks like Colin is back.
I've returned.
So Colin, just give your score. We basically finished with our discussion.
Yeah. Give my score of Gridman.
Yep. Yeah,
6.
and like in your thoughts, your general thoughts.
And my thoughts as to why. It wasn't like I'm gonna start to like change my rating system to like I actually go by mouse where 5 is like an average kind of like I'll be giving shows that are like mediocre a 6. And like Gridman really brought nothing to the table in my opinion. It was not thought provoking. Like you guys were talking about AOT before. AOT is thought provoking and like interesting to watch and fun. This was fun in some parts, and other parts I was just like super bored. And like I didn't really see it bringing anything special. I don't know why people hyped it up.
That's
I don't
because
mean
it's
to just be
Studio
a total,
Trigger.
yeah, I don't mean to be a total dickhead about the show. It wasn't a terrible show, but like like would have rather watched like a different 12 seat,
Yeah, like
a different
I
12
said,
episode series.
we went in a lot into talking about how the fact that it incorporates a lot of the original live action Gridman and lore into it. It's like a fuck you to the Western audience who hasn't seen it. And
Yeah,
like I said, it's not very memorable, at least for me.
yeah. I will probably when I start my binging series, which I already kind of have been starting my binging season. I'll probably forget about it.
But yeah, it's
You
it's
know,
not it's not a it's not a terrible show.
it's not a terrible
I
show by
think
any
it's
means.
enjoyable, and it's better than there's a lot of shows that are worse.
No,
Yeah, it is.
oh
It
yeah,
is
for sure.
admittedly. It is admittedly not the most memorable anime that I've ever seen. Far from it, but
I think
it's
Darling in the Franxx is much more memorable.
Yeah, it's sort of I can't see. I'm looking at the reviews of it on an Omal right now, and I cannot I cannot see any reason why 3 out of the 4 main like things that show up on the reviews like it's an 8, a 9, and a 10. I have no idea how
yeah.
someone gave
It's
it a 10.
Well,
I mean,
the
the person
10
who gave
has
it 10
seen the
said because it's
original.
inspired by.
yeah. The 10. If you
Yeah,
give
but
it a
even then though, like even if it's inspired, like even if you've seen the original, like you had to take it with a grain of salt. Like this is what the show is. Like
well,
you
okay,
give it a
okay.
higher rating than Parasite.
Colin, you missed this part of the discussion, but we're saying how if you had seen the original Gridman, that this was like an extension of the Gridman universe by translating the idea into something new, and that would have a lot more meaning and interest for those who had seen the original, just because you'd get all the references and everything.
It's like a side story for
Yeah.
the Gridman
Yeah, but
universe.
I just can't see. Like I'm just gonna show them this one person who wrote that gave it a 10. They have a 5.22 mean score and they put Griffin at a 10. I mean, like sure, like
They've
I
probably
just want to shit on this person. They
they've
have,
definitely seen the original.
Hey
but they
man,
have 83 days. Like they have more than us. Like I don't care what you've seen, but like
hey man.
I do not think I can nowhere in my mind, even if I've seen the original. Like I can't know because of that, but like would not like have it encroach on my favorites list.
People are entitled to their opinions, so I'm
No,
sure
you are not entitled to your
I'm sure
opinion.
they're gonna see you and your 9 out of 10 rating on Darling in the Franxx and be like,
I have a
"What is?"
7 on Darling in the Franks.
They're gonna see Darling in the Franxx on your favorites list and wonder what you're doing with your
Yeah.
life. So,
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah.
so
Yeah, but I have Franks as a 7 for some reason.
I think that that'll wrap up our discussion. I don't think that we're gonna have any chat questions from the
Yeah,
chat.
doubt it.
So
Anyone
we'll
watching?
I don't know. I don't. The Japanese spaghetti said something a few minutes ago.
Oh.
But if there are questions while we're wrapping up, we'll.
I didn't know the Japanese
answer
ate a
them.
lot of Italian food, but to each his
Yeah,
own.
come on, spaghetti.
So
Fucking spaghetti.
so, thank you everybody. What are our favorite? Okay, what is our favorite anime openings or endings? So, my favorite intro. Oh, that's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
I like a lot of intros.
Oh my god. I don't want to say it. I want to think of it something else. I don't want to say it.
All right, so Colin really likes the School Days intro. It is a pretty good intro.
Shut
I mean,
up.
It's definitely better than the rest of the show. God.
I just refuse to say like. Let me look at my favorites list.
All right, I'm gonna
Darling in
say
the Frankses.
For all those who haven't been paying attention to literally everything that Colin's been saying, it's definitely JoJo's second opening.
Yeah, JoJo's second opening with part 5 being like part 5's opening is pretty good too. But Frank's opening is pretty good. I like Frank's opening. I like
my
Norigami's too. I like a lot.
Norigami's second season intro is good. My favorite. There, I'm just gonna name a couple. I really like Neon Genesis's intro. Cruel Angel's Thesis. Really, it's one of the best intros in anime. I really like Code Geass's the first season's first intro. That's the only good intro in the series.
Oh, that's true. That is a good one.
I like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's first intro.
Okay, that's my favorite. Again, is my favorite.
And Clannad After Story's intro just touches the feels, but it's not particularly hype. And
although you have to admit that Hacking to the Gate, that you can get hyped to that.
Good. It's just not I don't think it's the best. I wouldn't put it on my.
Definitely.
It's good.
Also, for all the other falls, it has the Persona 5 intro.
Oh yeah, that's good. Persona 5 intro is real good.
That's the first one.
The first one. Second one's not that great.
Second one's very mediocre, but the first one, that is a hype train of its own.
I also really like intros that are performed by the Japanese rock band NaNoWriMo. I really like NaNoWriMo. They did the intro to Citrus,
God,
which the intro is good. They did like Hanasaku Iroha's. They did Hanasaku Iroha's intro. They did Non Non Biori. They did Sankareya. But my favorite ending, Shinsekai Yori does not have an intro, but it has it has an ED, and I think this first one is really good. It looks amazing, and the song is really good. I think that's my favorite outro.
Third outro. Attack on Titans. Was it the season 2 one that was like that I talked about a lot? Season, right?
I like season 3's outro a lot more than the second season.
I like the medieval feel and like the look. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's just the third one sounds similar to the second one, except it's a lot better, in my opinion. But I don't listen to outros that much.
I don't listen to outros. Once I figure out if a show has like those little scenes at the end, like once I figure out that it just doesn't have that scene at the end, it's just next episode.
Yeah. Oh, I also can't forget the first season of Clannad's intro or outro, the Big Dongo family song. So memorable. You'll remember that if you've seen the show.
I remember.
You'll remember those dongos, and then you're gonna want to kill yourself. All right. So, any more questions in the chat? Speak now, or forever hold your peace. We'll do it. More questions next time. Also, what is your favorite anime meme? Okay.
Meme?
Yeah.
Do I really have to? Motherfucker.
Is that a JoJo's reference?
Yeah. Fuck. There's so many to choose from JoJo's.
Jotaro, Dio.
Nani?
Zowareto.
I like Omaewa mo Shinderu. I also like the meme where it's like Yuzu and some curly-haired chick from Citrus. She's like, so who would be sick enough to watch a show just for just for a couple lesbian scenes? And then then the second panel, Yuzu's looking at you. It's relatable.
My favorite meme, from the wacky adventures of the best anime around, Scooby Doo. Shaggy can
God.
destroy you with his power.
Only 10. Nice
Only
job,
1% of his power,
Sasuke.
and you would just
You've only
burn up
used.
around him.
True.
Not real talk. My favorite scene, favorite meme, is when Abdul and Joseph Joestar in Stardust Crusaders, like do the sex.
Oh, I haven't seen
it's
JoJo's, and I know what this is.
It's so funny. It's when it's memed, it's hilarious.
Oh,
I'll show you a video because I showed Tommy.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
I showed Theo one of with a Jeep high, like watching it, eating popcorn, like watching eating popcorn, saying nice.
Congratulations.
So if there's I also like the congratulations at the very end of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I used to use that in my streams. What a great. It makes no sense. So.
Sometimes the Yu-Gi-Oh trap card memes have.
Oh, those are good.
If used correctly, those can be pretty funny.
So I think we'll take one more question.
Oh, one more thing. What would you like, a bath, a dinner, or meat? Like that meme.
Oh. Yeah, because Colin's a lolicon.
I enjoyed that one. Okay, like it was a funny meme.
You've seen what show that's from, Colin.
I
have two. But I wasn't jerking off during that scene.
Neither was I.
I don't believe you at all, Colin.
Okay, don't believe me, big fella.
Colin, you jerk off during literally every show. Literally every show we talk about, you're like, I jerked off during that show.
But you're like, okay. Remember that raft episode in Gridman? I totally jerked it.
You 100% said that.
I did not.
You said that. I'm not shaming you for that, because if I was a fiend, I would have.
I took a break around that time to do it.
Yeah, same.
Not to it directly.
Wow.
Same, and then I loaded up a Gridman Dojin.
What?
That's not the same.
I wasn't watching the scene.
I did not do it.
Yeah,
we'll take one more question. Spaghetti, you have a question?
I'm gonna give him like 30 seconds. The clock is counting.
Carson to do the do.
So I might, while we wait, I might as well just bring us home. So, thank you all. Oh, here we go. Favorite Japanese band or songs? I already said NaNoWriMo is my favorite. I also really like Honeyworks.
Wait, what did you say?
Favorite Japanese band or songs? I really like NaNoWriMo and Honeyworks. Honeyworks is the Colin, remember that show Our Love Is Always 10 Centimeters Apart?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That show was an adaptation of a Honeyworks music video series. Like they do
really?
they make music and then make like little slideshows for their music videos.
Shit.
So I like their songs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know much.
I haven't heard them. I don't really listen to.
Yeah, I don't listen to Japanese music or songs very often. So I don't really have an answer to that one.
So now let's finally bring it home after 2.5 hours. Oh boy. Yes. So thank you everybody for listening to episode 1 of the Otaku Talk Anime Podcast. I'm Theo, and who are the people who are with me?
I'm Meowden, but I'm Carson at this point. So
yeah.
Who's the other one?
Oh, I'm Colin. Yeah.
Also known as Zoob or Steezub. So
Zoob, Nerf Osiris on Smite, hit me up.
So on this episode, we just did a little host introduction where I asked 20 questions, and that
host introduction.
that lasted a
little
couple
host introduction.
minutes, a couple minutes. Nice, quick get to
couple
know
minutes.
us,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
120 minutes.
and
And
that
literally most of the podcast.
it was all right. And then we talked about SSSS.Gridman. We didn't really like it that much, but next podcast, which what's the date? That it will be on. So we're streaming this on Sunday, like at like 5. It's 7:30 now, but we started at around 5. But we're gonna be streaming Saturdays on 8 p.m. There was just things that happened this weekend that prevented that from happening. But next episode, we're gonna stream it live on twitch.tv slash the or Otaku Talk Anime Podcast on February 9th at around 8 p.m. And the topic for that episode is going to be shows that need a sequel, whether or not we personally want a sequel for that show, or this show is incomplete without a sequel. And
I already have an obvious answer.
yeah, there's an obvious one for that.
Yeah.
And the show that we're going to be discussing is the critically acclaimed, a show I've actually seen, so I'm not spitballing. It's called A Place Further Than the Universe. It's probably the favorite to win the Crunchyroll Best of 2018 awards. So look forward to that. And with that, we are done. So thank you everyone for listening. Leave us a review on iTunes, lol. Follow on Twitch. I'm also gonna upload this VOD onto YouTube, so subscribe on YouTube. We need to pass T series, and smash like, subscribe. So thank you everyone, and I will see you February 9th, I said. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye, have a good time.
Bye bye.
Matane.